Hi. I totally forgot to hit go, like start, because I'm a goofball. Hey, yes, you're here, Bob. Oh, wait, no, that's right. He's not here. He's over there, wherever there is. Give me just a second. Let me go up to the top and see who came in. Maureen! Do you in the dirt, Maureen Washington? You Homestead Aquarius, Lark's Homesteadish. She's here. Okay, as long as it lasts. I totally thank you so much just for coming in. Right. She's our worker bee now. Passamaquoddy. Okay. The crocheting as usual and listening. I appreciate that. Gardening Warrior Q, oh, honey. Oh my goodness. How can you eat that when you're sick? I couldn't eat that. I hope you feel better though, Gardening Warrior Q. Bada bing. Bob 942. Hey, Gardener Josh. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you, Magnificent Germany with Darian. Tibor, good to see you. I was wondering where you've been. I have just part of a video I wanted to share with you guys what happened like this past week. Yeah, this past weekend. I don't even know where I am now. Well, where am I? I'm like Bob. Yeah, beginning of this week it happened. It was like 3 a.m. and I heard something really like a thud. And I even had to look on my camera. We have a camera now and I could see through the screen. Hold on, I need a sip of my tea. Woo. And I could see something fluttering. And at first I was like, oh gosh, please don't be a rat like that big. Like, because it was behind something on my screened in patio. It wasn't. It was the coolest thing. So I gotta see if I can do the share, do it this way, the present it and share it. Let me see if I can. Um, hmm. Oh my, this is so weird now. They give you so many options. I don't know if it's gonna show it. Yay. Thank you for everybody coming in. Please remember to hit the like. You don't have to share me out tonight. I'm fine. Like, it's so low key. I don't know if it will let me share it now. No, I don't want the entire screen. It's not giving me a tab. I am still not used to this thing. Maybe if I, oh, now it's got something else open. Why am I so not good with this laptop? I'm fine with other laptops. I actually even took Excel and took the professional edition and got an A and got my certificate a long time ago. Do you think I can figure out how to find this? I opened it and it's not. I'm going to have to, let me see if I can move this over. Nope. Now it just made it go away. All right. Well, I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to post it to my channel. You have to wait. Yeah, screen sharing was canceled. Oh, wait. Maybe if it's video. Video file? No. See, it takes me to the wrong stuff in my, recent. Nope. Just doesn't make sense. I just had it too. Finally found it where it was. And then it disappeared. It's so weird. I'm going to have to just start doing lessons online with this. I really need lessons from somebody who is good with a MacBook Air. Oh, here, wait a minute. Oh, maybe I need to make it bigger. No, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Just chat amongst yourselves for a second. I'm trying to see if I can make it bigger and then just share my screen. No, it's not going to. See, now, okay, it's a media type of file, but it won't open it for me. Why does technology have to be so techy and touchy? If I do video file, it goes somewhere else. Let me see. Window. Will it let me do that window? I don't think it will. I have to like show the entire screen. That's why I see now why people have yeah, it's just not gonna do it. I'm sorry guys. I was really late to my computer tonight. Hey Tia, good to see you. Tian Bushcrafter. Thank you. All right, let me drop the link because Diva is doing her thing with Mama. Probably just gave him enough time for somebody to come in that's not supposed to be here. I'll get flashed again. There is the link to come up on the panel. Tonight is just really low key. I do not have a winter. Oh, let me just I did not have a winter, but I was like, what is it like? You guys get to have like a whole season off as far as gardening if you want. At least for those of you who get snow. And yeah, I don't know what that's like. Down here, you actually could, if you added tropics, garden all year long. Hey, there she is. Yeah, I am so bad. I had it like all ready to go. Oh.
I was going to offer my advice, but I went, you can't offer advice, Maureen, because you struggle just as much. So just leave it alone.
Never struggled so much with the computer before.
It's
like, ridiculous.
Oh, put it up on a tab. That's what you need to do. Oh, put it. It's like, Maureen,
it's in a
shut
tab,
up.
but it's
shut
not.
Up.
It's so weird. It was in a tab. Hold on, let me see what the tab is even called. Now I'm afraid of moving you.
Oh no,
now
I'll just.
No, I mean I'm moving the whole thing. You're teeny tiny. It just gives me a date. I opened it in my album media types. I don't know. Like it's really weird. Oh, bada bing. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, wait a minute. I almost removed you somehow because it's so small. Hold on. I don't want to screw around with StreamYard too much.
Oh,
there he is.
Oh, there's Bob.
Never tell a man that it's so small. Just don't say
That's
that.
True. Bob.
Yes.
You're right there. Right there. You see yourself? There you are, Bob. We found
I'm here.
We found
Maureen gets it. I'll leave her a comment. Where am I?
Okay,
and she finally got it. She finally is like, she gets it.
You're not here.
Am
nope.
Did you look under the bed?
Oh. Nope. No, you're not under there either.
You're gonna give me some nightmares here, Bob. I'm gonna have her knocking under the bed, and I'll be like, "That's not us, hon. What? Yeah, it's Bob. Bob's under the bed."
There could be worse things than me under your bed.
That is very true. That is the truth. They would find out real quick that they didn't want to be there.
Carol, you mentioned in a comment, that you have a hoe.
I broke my hoe.
You broke your hoe.
Well, actually, I broke my dad's hoe. It was my dad's hoe. I broke her. Yeah, because Bob was showing that he got this big new mop stick for like a couple bucks. What'd you do? Get that at like a
secondhand store? Yeah, that's a maple.
Oh man, it was perfect size too.
Make these into head knockers. Yeah, I'll do a pop because he made a maple, and one of her comments was she has a hoe.
Gigi.
She has a hoe.
Gigi, the link's in the chat if you want it. Yeah, we do get that. At least we get a whole season without it being really hot.
Mm-hmm.
You guys get the cooler weather up there, Glenn. Ours is still like it's nice though. It is nice. It's nice the other night.
Warrior Q broke a hoe under your bed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have that. We call it a hula hoe, and that's what I was telling Bob. I'm like, I have one that does the hula, but I broke my dad's hoe. She was an old hoe.
I'm not going to ask anymore. No.
She broke. No, I was out there. I was out there doing work, and I was trying to get up. Hey, GT.
What's good? How you doing? What's up, Maureen? What's up, Bob?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. So I had a quick question, real quick. How many likes do you have on this?
What? On what?
On the live?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's reminding people. I don't know. 11. Oh my gosh. Thank you,
Make sure y'all hit that like button.
There you go. Hey.
Love it.
Come on now. Support.
Amen.
Thank you.
There we go. I'm going to do that right now. We're going to go up in just a moment here.
Oh, I have, what was it? I was trying to get.
Ooh, that just went way up.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the hose that I broke my dad's old hoe, and his was Bob had gotten this old mop stick at a secondhand store for like $2. Was it, Bob?
Yeah, $1.65 for a hickory.
That's the size I need, and it's hickory.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it's not hickory; it's maple. I'm going to make these into
either
a couple
one. I'll take. That's pretty.
Screama sticks.
Yeah.
Skull busters.
Well, I guess mine could be a skull buster too. It's a cultivator hoe, but I mean the thing is probably from the 1940s, and so is the wood stick on it. And I was out there trying to get up a root and not thinking this wood stick is from the 1940s, and I put a little too much leverage on it, and I hear it snap.
That's probably hickory. That's most of your. Oh no, I my hair's messy. I look like a straight guy, you know.
That's good.
I'm joking. You can always tell an old married straight guy because his hair's all messed up and he doesn't give it a goddamn. He doesn't care.
I guess that's kind of. I think my husband gets it cut so short, so yeah. I'll have to look at that next time. Be like, oh, good. Okay, your hair looks messy. Okay. Be like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Go out with no. Mess that up before you go out of the house. You don't need any stalkers. No, that.
Yeah, you don't need that.
But they can be women too. They don't, they come in all shapes and sizes.
Why
hetero,
is that?
Homo, and
why is it that my stalker is a dude?
I think it's because you had that sparkly the book holder one time. Bob brought out this it was like a purse. What was that for? I forget. You had
oh my god! I bought it at a secondhand. I bought it at a secondhand store. It says like Dance Fever or something. It was like $1.50. It was like a gym bag with all these bright purple and pink colors and Dance Fever, and I held it up to the webcam. I'm ready to dance.
Yeah. And by the way, Bob is not a homophobe. He has friends that are homosexual, and he's not like that. It's just like Bob is just an entertainer. He does all kinds of voices and things like that.
Yeah, if you hear a weird voice come out of me, it's just part of my shtick. And all kinds
same
of
thing
stuff.
with your basement.
My Uncle Pervy stuff. It's just it's all.
Gary remembers it. Oh gosh.
So what were you talking about? You think you said something about people that get to quit gardening. Are they happy about quitting gardening?
Oh, hey, Darian. Oh yeah. Are you guys happy about? Hey.
How's it going there?
Is it Darren? Is it Darren? Darian?
It's Darren. A lot of people. It looks like Darian, but
okay,
Darren. But it's pronounced Darren. So
I'll mess up the English language, and it's the only one I speak, so I have to ask.
I mess up my the English language. I've never met you, Darren. Nice to meet you. I'm Maureen, also known as Diva in the Dirt.
Bob.
That's awesome. Bob.
Yeah.
I'm GT.
All right.
GT's in Alaska. I'm from Vancouver Island, but right now I'm farther north up in British Columbia.
She's Canadian.
I'm a Canadian.
She's Canadian.
Yeah.
All right. Where are you from, Bob?
Seattle area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm down in South Florida. I am above Palm Beach County. I'm in Palm Beach County.
I was just down in that area last Sunday. I was just there.
Oh, really? That's wild.
Yeah, I got off a cruise. I'm from Ocala, Florida.
I'll be darned. Okay. We were just
Yeah,
talking about how you guys get the freezes up there.
right.
And we were watching some of the weather from Ryan Hall, y'all. And that's kind of like, was wondering how people feel up north about that break. Like if they embrace it. Like I know Maureen, I think, was ready to embrace it after her garden just kept going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh
I
boy.
would want a break after that with
I
all the
do.
canning. Oops, we lost
Oh.
GT. I don't know what
Garden
happened.
Warrior Q knows me
Wait,
pretty
come
well.
back.
Garden Warrior Q did spend some time in my basement.
Yes, yeah, he like.
Yeah, I couldn't even get her out of it. You know, she hang out. You know, just she loved it there.
So
Bob's a joker.
Darren, where do you live now? You said, or are you still in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm in Ocala, Florida.
Okay,
And
I thought you were
Ocala's
from
really
there.
Right, a lot of people confuse, magnificent Germany with Darren. I spent time in the Army, and I spent 6 years of my life in Germany. I'm a proud American, but I'm also proud to say I love other cultures.
Yeah.
And Germany just happened to be one of them. I was also there as a kid because my dad was in the military too.
Oh, wow.
I was, Army. My dad was Army.
I have a sweatshirt like that. My dad was Army.
Oh, that's awesome.
World War II. He was a Jeep driver in World War II and was in that company with like fixing all the big trucks. And he took the GIs up to the Eagle's Nest after it was taken and gave them
Check that out.
tours.
Really? Wow.
My dad was in World War II.
All the time.
Yeah.
I go to Germany often, and I was just there. I take groups of people to Germany all the time, and I do it for fun.
I would love
I'm not
to
a business.
visit.
I'm not like that. I just do it for fun, and
Cool.
I love taking people. But that's awesome. I would love to talk to your dad about that. Because
my dad passed. He's not with us anymore. But
sorry to hear that.
Actually, he didn't talk about it until he was in his mid 70s. So
Really?
back then they didn't talk about PTSD too much, but I think my dad had some. But once he finally did open up, it was wonderful to be able to just hear a little bit about it. Hey, Duncan, 1900. Hey, Brenda.
Yeah, my dad was in World War II also, and he didn't talk much about it until after I was in the Air Force. After I was a GI, then he knew that I could comprehend some of what he was talking about.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. But yeah, my dad started off in it was the Army Air Corps or the Air Force. He started off in North Africa, and then he ended the war in China fighting the Japanese. So
Flying Tigers.
The China-Burma India theater. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. My dad was also in the Air Force and in the U.S. Air Force, and he put in for overseas. And overseas was considered Canada. So he ended up in a place called Ballyhughes. And so that's where he was stationed when he met my mom, which is why I was born here. So in central BC.
Oh, wow.
So, is that east coast of Canada, Ballyhughes?
No, it was central BC. It was in central British Columbia.
Really?
And your dad was a Georgia.
He's from
Georgia,
Mississippi,
right?
Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. I couldn't remember what southern state. I'm sorry.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
So that's where he was stationed in Blaine at first.
I know. Yeah.
And then was transferred up to Ballyhughes up here, and so and then he met my mom and proceeded to have a bazillion children and stayed here, and he's still here in the hometown I was born in.
And get this too cool. That my dad, before he shipped out for overseas, he met my mom in Kissimmee, Florida. They got married there. She was 19, he was 25, and they remained married until they both passed away. Life together. Yep. Kissimmee,
that was
Florida.
my parents. Well, not really. My parents. I said that was my parents. That's not true.
I just thought I would just lie right just now.
Well, they were together for a long time. They almost made 50. They almost made 50, but they actually were previously married to other people. So I have half siblings. So that would have been just cutting out. That never existed. Just never happened. Sorry. Sorry, half siblings. Well, most of you. The nice one. No, we were just talking about, like, I know in Ocala you guys get freezes, but do you garden, Darren, yourself?
I love to do. I do.
Okay.
I have a back injury. I actually broke my back in Germany years ago. I was paralyzed, told never walk again. I'm not paralyzed no more, but I was for 3.5 months and 27 days. Well, 3 months and 27 days.
Yeah.
But I love to grow things. I love to do stuff.
Do you do it on an elevated bed because of your back injury?
Well, we just moved into our new house
Okay.
about 3 months ago. I'm
Oh, nice.
from Florida originally, but I moved
Okay.
to Georgia for about 4 years, but now I'm back.
What part of Georgia were you in
We
for that?
were in Warner Robins,
I'm not
near
familiar.
Perry, Georgia.
Say it again?
Yeah, near Perry, Georgia. You got Warner Robins.
I'm not familiar.
Georgia
What
State
part of the
Fair
state?
was
Like
like about 8
down?
minutes. Middle
Middle.
Georgia.
Okay. So
Right.
outside of Atlanta somewhere?
We're about 2 hours south of Atlanta, right
Okay.
around there.
Okay.
And about 45 minutes south of Macon.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I missed being around the military years ago, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Well, long story short, my mom started, get up there in age, and I got one mama. So
Yeah.
we decided to sell the house, my wife and I, and my kids, and we just got settled back to where I'm from originally, and it feels good. Feels good.
Oh,
But,
good.
yeah.
Mercury too is also former. He was in the service also. Him and I were talking in Barry's live inside chat. And we think I have to get my dad's book out from the Army. We actually wonder if our grandfathers were maybe at one time even in the same mess hall or past each other, because his grandfather too was up at the Eagle's Nest and got to be.
Well, you never know. I mean, I've heard
No,
so many stories like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's unreal. And like I was mentioning, I'm very familiar with Eagle's Nest. I go there, once, sometimes twice a year, taking people there and stuff like that. And I met so many people. I met a lot of World War II veterans. My grandpa was in World War II. My dad was in Vietnam. My dad's no longer with us. But but it's neat to sit down and see the history. And I don't want to blab too much, but just a little bit of history. When I was stationed in a place called Schweinfurt, Germany, it's a beautiful, beautiful town. I love going to that town. And by the way, it took me 19 years to get back to Germany. 19 years in Germany. I went back in 2008 for the first time in 19 years. And I've been back 26 times since 2008.
Wow.
So that tells you how much I love going.
Right on.
But in Schweinfurt, Germany, during World War II, they had a bombing called Black Thursday. We lost a lot of men on our side, and Germans did too. There was a ball bearing plant.
Yep, I heard all about that.
Bob would know. Yeah, Bob's great with history like that.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna love this, Bob. Then, okay. The 8th Air Force came in, and they had a choice. They had a choice. Are you going to do the mission or not? Because they didn't have enough coverage. The B-17s and they only have so much fuel in there on the covered flights. So the planes that was protecting the B-17s could go only so far because of fuel.
Yeah.
So they had a choice: are you going to be on the mission or not? And they all chose to go on the mission and to bomb the ball bearing plant in Schweinfurt. Well, it happened. They completed the mission, but we lost hundreds of men there. And when I was there in the 80s, that happened in 1944. When I was there in the 80s, it was unannounced. I just happened to take a Friday off. I was walking around downtown. I see this like a party going on. People swinging back and forth with big old beers and just having a good old time. And what it was people that were bombing Schweinfurt, and then also the Germans that were shooting at them together, holding hands, dancing,
Wonderful.
tears.
Yeah.
And I didn't leave for about 6 hours. So I was right there, and I was talking to those men on both sides, the Americans and the Germans. And it was like, I can't believe I'm experiencing this. This is 1989, and I mean, hear that they shot at each other and bombed each other.
Yeah.
They're breaking bread and having a good old time. It was just really neat. Sorry for the long story, but
No,
it's good.
It was a really good story because my dad said the same thing when I said something about the Nazis because I have a belt buckle and I forget what else from when he was over there. And he said, no, they were just farm boys. They were just born German. He said they were farm boys too. He goes, and he goes, it was hard to look at them as anything but.
Right. War's hard,
Well, I, if I'm not mistaken about my numbers, I think it was over 30,000 airmen lost their lives just over Europe in World War II.
Yeah.
Wow.
30,000. But all you ever hear is newsreels about the Marine Corps. That's all you hear about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other services call us airmen, oh, you're wimps, you're pussies, or whatever. Well, we got a legacy of guys getting torn up by shrapnel, getting sewn up, and get back in the airplane the next day. Now that's guts.
I was glad my dad was too short to fly into, like, his eyes weren't gonna. They basically clearly said, no, you are not going to pass to be a pilot. Because his brother actually ended up going and working for Boeing, but I can't remember. I think he actually ended up being an engineer on or something with the planes, with the mechanics, maybe. You would know, Bob. But he then later on went and worked for Boeing. I saw it actually. I didn't know my uncle that well because my father was, back then he was 45 when I was born. And back then that was like kind of older. So you see him with my mother, and my mother was 12 years younger. And he's like, all proud in the picture. He's got me. Like, I made one still. Like,
wow.
But all my uncles were, older that were in the war, so I didn't get to know them. In fact, they were up around where that house just blew up. Wappinger Falls was where we lived when I was born. I wasn't born in Wappinger Falls, but we lived there. And then my dad got the job with IBM, and we were off and traveling after that. But yeah, it was so cool to actually talk to Mercury. I want to go back up to his comment because you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. It says, my grandfather was the reason I became a combat engineer. My father, my father is a Vietnam veteran and not here. I love and miss bonding with him. I bet you do. I bet. I miss bonding with my dad too.
Well, thanks for sharing, Mercury. I do too.
Yeah.
I miss mine.
Oh, ooh, really? POWs. Yeah, I've heard that. You said that to me, and I heard that we actually allowed them to some of them to become citizens. And I think, didn't we kind of pull in some of their scientists too? Didn't we? There's always those rumors like that they worked with NASA on things and stuff.
That's true.
But so to go back to gardening in Ocala, do you guys have it's brassica season basically? It's all do you guys do the winter crops, the crops that'll be able to handle a freeze, because you do get freezes?
Now it don't freeze all the time. Our winter's normally like hard winter, we call it, in January for about
no, you just get it still freezes your pipes though. People got to know. Occasionally you get
not occasionally, not every time, but maybe twice a year they say, okay, drip your water faucets outside, let it run because you don't want your pipes to burst. And I take heed because I don't want my pipes to burst. But a lot of collard greens. I'm a collard green guy. And
I just heard that they're biannual. I didn't know that you can grow them for like 2 years.
Right. Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Sweet potatoes grow continually. You plant a sweet potato, you're not getting rid of them.
No. That's one of the first things I grew, and I was like, oh, I can grow things.
I started my garden when I was 13 years old. I was in 4-H right here in Ocala. And my first garden, not to brag, but I got a blue ribbon. My first garden ever.
Neat.
I'm studying my 4-H books and trying to do everything right, and my 4-H teacher, he was a big time no chemicals. He goes, "Don't use Seven Dust. Don't use any of that stuff." And which I still don't to this day.
It's funny because my dad was a farmer and Seven Dust was a thing, and they were from the upstate New York. They were actually, they say upstate, but it's just above Manhattan. They were like, not that far from Manhattan, really, when you look at the map, but that's upstate, or the beginning of it. And they, I was born, I was born actually in Poughkeepsie. I was born in Poughkeepsie, New York. But it's funny, my parents had like one of those artistically drawn birth certificates, and it says Wappinger Falls, because I've been cleaning this room out, and I was like, I'll be darned.
I've heard my wife, she's from Long Island.
Okay.
So I'm a Florida boy, and she's from Long Island.
You're native.
So, yeah.
My daughter's native, and she's allergic to citrus.
Is she really?
What?
Yes. She's
Say what?
Yeah, she's a native Floridian, and she's allergic to certain citrus pollen, and she cannot have oranges or things made from like vitamins that they'll use, like maybe orange in, like the kids' chewables that are organic. She will actually get canker sores from them.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like,
is that because of the acid, maybe, or
it's the acid, but it's that particular, because she's fine with lemonade. It's really weird. It's oranges specifically, their type of acid, and her body just reacts to it. But that's why you won't see. I might try a lemon tree, but I will not. I won't be able to do that even until Malachi's older, my son, because he's special needs, and a lot of the lemon trees have, as you know, thorns, and he'll grab them. So you won't see that in my yard. You won't see citrus.
You have a special needs son?
Yeah. My son is. We actually foster to adopt him, and so he's special needs.
That's awesome. I look around. I got a friend of mine. They have a son that's special needs. He's 3 years old now. Wow. And it was a surprise. They're older. Surprise, but we love that little boy.
My parents loved our son like he was their own, and my husband and I were like, whatever God wants. And when you go in, they basically are like, you can't choose the child. You know, red and yellow, black and white.
There you go.
You can't.
No colors. There's
no
colors.
Yeah, there's no. They're coming in all colors, and I was like, I don't care. I said, but I'll tell you what. I said, I know, I am getting a black baby. I said, God already told me, and He gave me prophecy from a little girl. I said, and she actually had confirmed it. I just felt it in my spirit. I knew I would have a son before I had my daughter. I got it doing a devotional one day. It was just like, you're going to have a son one day. You're going to name him Isaiah. And, we joked because it was like our last name is Woods. And that was like a basketball player, I think, in college at the time. And we were like, am I like, how is that going to happen? Because my mom was the one who said it. She's like, that sounds like somebody black I know. And I was like, Mom, I'm like, I'm sure, at the time. And then I looked back on that moment and I'm like, oh my goodness, like God had it planned from the very, like that moment. He even was like giving me a hint through my mom, like, hey, by the way, you're going to be a multicultural family. And I love it. I love, it's not always easy, and Maureen will tell you that too, because she has the opposite, where she's tanner than her children, and they didn't believe her children were hers because her children are so light complected.
Yeah,
people should be looking at color in the first place.
No. Well, when you live in a small, forestry town, it's very easy to, you're not, you don't mix and mingle with all the colors, so you stand out.
There's just no one around.
Yeah, like when you're like, I think we were one of the 3 prominent black families here in my town, and we all had big families. So it was like you were the Reynolds, Washingtons, or the Morgans. So you're one of them. And
one of
of
I remember
that, so.
growing up, I was in, I think, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I think 3rd grade. I was having a sleepover at my house, and I was going down the road, and I said, "Hey, Daddy, can my black friend Tyrone come spend the night?" and we're driving down the road, and he popped me in the
my
mouth
gosh.
like that, and he goes, and he pulled over. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Because he was raised with that.
But I was like, Dad, what did I do? He goes, son, I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have popped you. He goes, but I want to make something clear. He goes, is Tyrone your friend? I said, yes, sir. He goes, you don't have to put a color to it if he's your friend. He was trying to tell me.
Oh my gosh, bless him.
I said, can my black friend Tyrone? And I didn't mean nothing by it. I said, can my black friend Tyrone?
No, yeah.
And I was like, what do I do? He goes, there's no color. Is he your friend? I was like, no, yes, sir. He goes, there's no color. He goes, of course, Tyrone.
Yeah.
He goes, Tyrone.
That's right, because your father was in the service, so there was no room for that in the service. You were all soldiers. It didn't matter.
No,
didn't matter. Yeah, didn't matter.
I was raised. There's, people are people.
That's right.
I love that. As Mercury says, my niece has Down syndrome, and she is such a beautiful blessing. Pure love and honesty. Yeah, a lot of them are with that. She is 12 now. She hugs us. If Uncle has scratchy shirt, she tells me my shirt is scratching her face. Yeah, I hope that my son can say that one day. I hope he can say that.
That's
He's
cool.
getting better with words.
Well, I just received this big laughing taco thing from my wife. I don't get what's going on with her.
Laughing taco.
Yeah, laughing taco thing. She had to be like at work at 4:00 in the morning.
She's a little delirious, maybe.
At
this point of the day, Bob.
She didn't make me any breakfast. When I got up in the morning, there was no breakfast prepared. So
she's fired. She's almost fired, isn't
like
she?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Later in the day, she got fired. But no breakfast. I've been teasing her all day. I'm so hungry. I can barely stand. Malnutrition. An hour or two later, I do that with her all the time. An hour, every couple hours or so, I send message to each other. And this was the last message was, it was at 8 p.m. tonight. I sent her a message. Almost dead now. From the lack of food.
Bob, Tibor has a question for you. He says he wants to know if a bomber crew flew 25 missions and survived, they got to go home. Many didn't make 25. Memphis Belle is famous for making the 25.
That's a fact. Most of those bomber crews didn't survive 25 missions.
So it was kind of like a pie in the sky. Tell the guys that
they were the first ones that did. And there were 10 men on every B-24 and B-17, 10 guys. Every time one of those airplanes went down, there went 10 airmen with it.
Wow.
Mercury says Lucky Charms and a Pop-Tart work.
This continues. Okay, God, all right. This is how I love my wife dearly. But I tease the shit out of her. And I said at 8 p.m. I said almost dead now. I'm malnourishment and everything. And then she texted back, "You can still text," in a smiley, laughy face. And I said, "Nope, my girlfriend is texting." And then she sent back this laughing taco thing.
Got you back. She got you back, showing you a good food too at the same time. She knows how to poke fun at you right back.
She does.
Gotta love your wife. She's awesome. She's awesome. So you were saying collard greens are one of the things that you grow during the colder months. And then what else are your favorites to grow? Even throughout the year, what are some of your favorites that you guys like?
I love green beans, vegetables. I love green beans. I like the string beans. They're all hanging out.
Maureen puts them everywhere. Yeah, she's the first person I've ever seen do that, and I thought that was genius because it's great for your soil. She's got like a little green bean here, green bean there, green bean there. Right. And I thought that's like genius. But same thing with you guys, Maureen, that you have the love for green beans, or was it just?
We do love the green beans. I want to be able to eat them, but also be able to can them. And then because they're nitrogen fixers, you put them in every single bed to help aid in the restoration of your soil while you're growing.
Yeah. So you pull up the nitrogen.
Yeah. Did you ever, Maureen, did you ever get that mouse thing sorted out?
So far in my greenhouse studio, the mouse has not returned. There's been no more life.
Good.
But the outside rat traps. I've been catching. I think this past week, I think I did about 5 or 6.
Oh, rats! Oh God!
I hate
No, it's
them.
good. Every
Yeah, it's
single
good that you're catching them.
every single one that I dispose of means that is stopping 15,000 rats, because you can follow the lineage of that one rat.
Wow.
So yeah. So it's
rock on.
So yeah, so we just put out traps, and then in the morning, like while I'm gone, of course, I don't think any of my kidults will
Sweet.
take the dead, the deceased rodent, but so I don't think they'll be setting the traps at this point.
No
But
one wants to do that.
I don't mind it. I just go 15,000 more gone. And
now,
sometimes
do the chickens ever get any of the? If you catch a mouse, will they get one of them, or?
I don't feel comfortable giving it to them
because of the diseases, right?
It could have something. So I have taken them out before. Like I live near a bog, and I have taken out some and thrown it out there for
That's
the
what
birds.
we do. We throw them in the canal for the.
For other, but some, like, with the ground shifting and whatever, my chicken coop has gotten, there's some way that the rats are getting in, so they were getting into my feed. My chicken feed that's all it's all secured up, but there is a way that they're getting in, and I couldn't find it, so we're just bringing in the chicken feed every night into the house, and then taking out in the morning until I can figure it out. But at this point, it's like I'm here till next Sunday, I believe, and so it's it's going to have to wait till I get back, and that. But exciting flying. I only have to fly it was like an hour and it's an hour and 20 minutes to get up here.
Oh, good.
And yesterday morning, I wake up and it says, we've canceled the flight because there's mechanical difficulty. And you go, okay, well, text everybody, hey, I don't need a ride, la la la. And then a few minutes later, it's like, no, we've just downgraded you into another plane. I go, perfect. I guess, I'm coming. So everybody back on. And we get there, and we were supposed to leave it, I think, at 11. And, we're not loading into the plane. It's like we were to leave at 11. And then we get an announcement. Okay, so with the luggage, it's too heavy. Is there anybody that wants to volunteer to take a different flight? We'll pay you $500. I did go, that's so easy, $500. But I went, nah, I'm already, this far into it. And anyway, we get on our plane. We get onto our flight. Somebody did leave, but we get on our flight. We get up here, and there's 6 of us looking around going, we don't have any luggage.
Oh.
So they removed 6 suitcases off of the plane.
Oh,
and now
no.
I always have one that is right at the maximum at the 50-pound level, because I had raw meat in my suitcase. And so I'm like, blink, blink, blink. So my suitcase is still on the island. I said, it has like raw meat. So can someone make sure that it gets put somewhere? And because I love my butcher down where I live, and because I'm coming up here to cook, I'd rather cook with good quality meat.
Yeah.
And so I had brought all this meat up with me. So it did come this afternoon, and everything was still frozen, which was great.
Wonderful.
But there you go. You could have just lost hundreds of dollars of meat.
Yeah, that's scary. I watched this lady who's on she calls it the lion diet. Her and her father, what is his name? Peters. He's a psychologist. Jordan Peters, is that? I think it is Jordan Peters.
He's a Canadian top psychologist. Jordan Peters,
and his daughter is like a major influencer and everything. Well, she's on this lion diet, and now so is he, and it's a stricter carnivore.
Right.
She does the same thing. She packs meat in her bag.
I'm a carnivore myself.
Are you? Oh, you're doing carnivore? I
am. A little bit of changes. I started out with carnivore. I mean, just strictly, but then you need fiber sometimes.
Yeah.
I vegetables and salads, 2 or 3 times a week.
That's so sweet.
But I lost 60 pounds since last October. So
I know our friend, and I think she's already in bed, but she came in earlier. Lark's Homesteadish was talking about probably trying it
Yeah.
She was going to try that.
My son-in-law, he's been doing carnivore for the last 3 months, but he and he is
she's still here.
He's blind, like he's blind. And he went blind later in life, kind of thing. It's like a certain type of cancer, benign cancer that gets on the optic nerve. So you can't tell between which one or which. And anyway, and so after 3 months, he actually came to me, I think about 2 weeks ago, and he says, I'm starting to see lines, like, because he can see kind of shadows.
Oh, wow.
But he said, I'm starting to see lines, because there are a couple of people that he follows that are also carnivore and have the same disease that he does, the same type of cancer that he has, and they have restored some of their vision. So he's working hard at seeing if this is going to bring back, some of his vision or more of his vision. So he's, and again, like, he's super duper strict, and he wasn't heavy to begin with, but yeah, he loses weight like nobody's business. And then he does kickboxing 5 days a week. So he's in heavy duty kickboxing, but it's like, so he's just like too super lean.
That wasn't.
And then he's Norwegian. So then of course he's this, Viking, but it's like, yeah, I'm really hoping that that this method of eating will actually bring back his vision for him. So
yeah, I hope so too. Great. That's what actually his daughter was saying, was she had to, because she's like allergic to everything.
Right.
She has allergies to everything, and it was just causing such severe problems. And I think she isn't even like going out. They do something with the meat. She's not. I don't know if it's the aging of the meat, because of histamine. She has to have meat that's not aged. So it's really super, super strict. That's why she calls it, I guess, the lion diet, because it's like a fresh kill.
Right.
Makes sense.
And I think with the lion diet, it's only 2 types of meat that you would eat. Like, I don't think you would eat chicken.
Yeah, she said she has to add. She wasn't doing like the organ meats, and she was saying just recently she got her blood work back, and I just started following her. Somehow, I guess, from following Jordan Peters. It is Jordan Peterson. Okay. I knew it was wrong. I was like,
it doesn't feel full. Peterson.
Thank you. And I just started following her, and she started talking about it, and I have autoimmune, and I was like, okay, I can't go that strict, but maybe I can do carnivore. And now Larks is saying she's already on it. It's her first week, so I'm very proud of you, Larks. Good girl.
Oh, Larks.
Yay. And then let's see. Mercury said he was keto and carnivore. Oh yeah, I knew. Okay, Dr. Ken. I think I've seen him. Oh, proper human diet. No, maybe not. I didn't. Wow.
I just gotta I gotta throw this out here. I just got a weird comment. It says, do you prefer Norwegian or Filipino girls?
Really?
So from somebody I've never seen their channel before in my life.
Delete them. But, maybe give them an answer and say both. Bye.
Yeah, that's just such a weird comment. It came in my notifications. Like,
good to see you, Garrett.
Well, I do kind of. My wife's Filipino, so I think I kind of prefer Filipino.
Salamat.
Because walang anuman. But and then it's kind of like I kind of prefer my Filipina.
Did you? Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's your answer. That's a better answer. I liked what I put it up. But this was the sweetest thing with Mercury making his wife eggs, because we take so much for granted in this country. When she first came to America, I made eggs, bacon, potato, and toast with fresh coffee. She cried so hard. I was shocked. She said, I never thought I was lucky like this.
Wow.
He had tears in his eyes.
I
read some of these because people are listening. Passamaquoddy will be, knitting.
Oh, yeah. My wife's got a whole cluster of Filipino friends, girls, and that's one of the first things when I meet a new arrival to the States, I say, what do you think of our food? And they go, oh my God, the portions of food that you people eat, that would feed me for 5 days. Some of them were 3 days. That's dinner for a whole family on one plate that you get here in the States. Yeah, you're right. Oh God, I remember.
Because you're single though, the Homestead Aquarius. If you had a wife and she was a certain nationality, you'd be getting a bop upside the head. And if she was Filipina, you'd be getting a flip flop upside the head. Just like some of the Latin American.
There's only a few pictures that exist of my wife. She grew up in Mindanao in the Civil War. There she is, just sitting there, skinny, emaciated, in a little plastic lawn chair with no shoes. You know,
I wasn't laughing.
Yeah, she didn't even have shoes. You know. And and then people in this country, oh my God, wah. It's like, shut the F up. You go overseas and see how the rest of the world lives.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they were making fun of some girl they were making fun of a girl who's in my daughter's generation. She was crying because she realized 9 to 5 is not so easy to do. Like, she was like all whiny cry put it on TikTok. And so then of course people grabbed it and were kind of making fun of her. But then they don't understand. But also, these are the kids that missed their graduations because of COVID. They missed like all that. And then people were working at home. And then they had to readjust to the world. And they're, I think, getting like sensory just overwhelmed from the time off and at home. Because I get it. When I go out to the grocery store and stuff, like especially Walmart, I already got it from there. But even more so, I can't imagine them being so young and not being able to process it out all the way. Like, okay, this is real life. This is like really what I went to college for, to do this. Like, this sucks. Like, this 9 to 5 lifestyle sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have no clue if they haven't traveled. Like, no, it's really not that bad. And you're very blessed to live in America.
That's a fact.
Yeah, at least for now.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I teased my own kids and my nieces overseas. You went through all university and now you got your job, and I'm so tired, I'm exhausted. I said, well, no worries. Today's done with, and you only got another 40 more years of this. That's called reality, honey. Get used to it. And when you have a family, you can't miss work. You can't.
I have to say, my daughter, I was so proud of her. She had her grandmother here dying at the house, and that's her favorite person in the world, probably even over me. And she went to school every single day, got student basically of the year. The year wasn't even halfway done. Always on time. Like, of course, I'm driving her because she's still not driving. She also was high functioning autistic when she was younger. You can't tell anymore, really, except for just little minor things like anxiety. But she did so well. I mean, I'm still shocked at how well she did. But before she did it, she looked right at me and she said, Mom, no matter what happens with Grandma, I'm not stopping school. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you right now at this moment that you stated that. And that I know you'll stick to it because you have that in your heart to do it. And she did. I was so proud of her because
good on her.
When she was younger, that kind of stuff would have broken her, and she was in her element. She was getting her esthetician's certificate, license. And now, of course, there's like no jobs near our house. They're all like different directions and like 30 miles away or more. So that's what we're dealing with now. But I'm still so proud of her. She's got a good work ethic.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her.
Absolutely.
Let me see what he said. True. I've been through type in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to get going.
Okay, Aaron.
I wanted to stop by. So I'm always catch your replays. I'm that guy.
And yay! Thank you.
I just happened to be coming in late, and I saw your thing pop up, and I was like, I'm gonna pop in and say hi real quick. So
yeah, appreciate it.
Nice to
You're
meet you.
Welcome anytime.
And, nice to meet you.
And video you too, Bob and Maureen and everything. So
talking to Mom.
I enjoy it, and I enjoy what I do on my channel. I also have I do a devotion channel. I do devotion every morning at 11. It's called A Moment in the Word. It's
Okay.
separate than what I do here, but I just
Is it that's the name of the channel, is A Moment in the Word?
I just want a moment in
Okay.
the Word. At 11 o'clock, I usually do a live stream, 11 in the morning.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
if I'm unable to be live, I have like a recording or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Really nice.
it is me. I love to travel, all the good stuff. But I
Yeah,
love
we'll
your
have to check
channel.
you out more. Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's nice to know that there's people out there that do.
Actually, I either just miss you. I mean, my like, oh, she's on live. Then, oh, she's gone. What in the world? Or like today, you're on. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna catch it.
I almost wasn't either. I was rushing to get on because my son was like not wanting to go to bed.
Oh my
So
goodness.
thank you.
Oh
You're
my
welcome
goodness.
anytime, Darren. Yeah, I'll have to come check that out.
Thank you so much. And Bob and Maureen, again, nice meeting y'all, and hope to see you around, guys.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Later.
All right, take
Check
care.
out
Bye-bye.
Darren's channel. That's it right there.
Well, thanks so much. I'm gonna check out Maureen's and Bob's too. So
yeah, you've got to see what Maureen grows, and Bob is always got a project growing. Going.
That diva has got some growing skills.
Yeah, she does.
Seriously.
She's got the thumb. She just has it. 2 green ones, I think.
Even I will. And Bob, I can't wait to pick your brain on especially military history stuff. I love that.
Oh yeah, you guys will be buddies because he loves history. Bob's
I do.
really
I love
good
it.
with it. Yep.
Right there.
Peace.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay. Yes, thank you. If anybody can drop his link, anybody with a wrench, that would be great. Appreciate it. Oh, wow. Wow. My wife survived the Mount Pinatubo eruption and describes the hardships so graphic. I bet.
Oh, yeah.
I could never imagine how she describes the family rebuilding. It's so amazing. Yeah.
Well, I noticed that with the folks over there, they don't rely on pills and doctors. They go to church.
Yeah.
And they rely on prayer.
Yeah.
And surrender to God.
Yeah.
What comes. Yeah, that's the biggest difference, I'd say, between their culture and ours, right there. They don't rely on a doctor, and they don't rely on pills. They go to mass, and they go on their knees and they pray.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest differences.
And they're also eating a lot more fresh food over there. They don't have the garbage that is in our foods at the store.
That's a fact.
And and that's when you think of like the industry, the same people who are making your drugs sometimes are making the chemicals that they're spraying on the food. Like, how messed up is that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. Actually, like Bayer is a chemical company that makes pesticides, and they're also making your aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me think of like how we all went through that C stuff, and it seemed like, oh, look at that, they just happen to have a vaccine made, and there's other things that we can't figure out how to have a vaccine made for, but suddenly we've got one for that, just that quick. It's really weird, the timing of that. And it makes me wonder, like, okay, are they putting stuff in our food to create customers for drugs?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me either in this world. You really want to. Oh, guys, you're great. Everybody's like, boom, boom, boom. Here he is.
Oh, Thank you. Get to say bye to Darren. Bye, Darren.
He said he'll check you and Bob out too.
Oh, nice. Thanks,
Darren. He's my watcher that rewatches my channel. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I'm so glad people are out there like you. Really appreciate you guys that watch after the fact who can't make it this late. And I appreciate, of course, my side chat who can make it, and my guests who come up on panel.
Well, it's early for Bob and I. It's just, it's not late.
Yeah. Well, 12:44 is pretty early for me with the hours that I keep, but tonight I wasn't sure if I could keep going. I was like a little tired, but I was proud of myself. I, got in this room today and I started sorting pictures. It was like something clicked. I think I had made a promise time, like to my, like the spirit of my mom, like, I'm going to give it a year, Mom. It feels wrong if I go through too much of this stuff within this first year. And then once we came to that year anniversary, it was like I don't know, like a kiss of freedom, maybe like a kiss from heaven. Like, it's okay. Like a peace. You can do it. Like, it's fine to do it. And today I did good. I did really good. I went through pictures and didn't cry. I actually got some sorted, so I was kind of happy about that. Let's see. Yes, and God made herbs of the field that man may live long on the earth. That's right. That's right.
It's just when you're using natural things, you just have to realize that it's not just a one and done. You know, when my sons were, I don't know, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, when they still lived with me, different times they would have this, you know, some sort of really bad chest infection. And I have this stuff from Young Living called RC, so it's respiratory congestion.
I have Young Living. Yeah. Go for it.
And I would set my timer for every hour. Like, and they were sick for they were sick, for a couple of days. And I went, okay, enough of that. Get the thieves out, get the RC. And I would go and I would put RC on the chest and the back, did a day of that just every hour. And the thing broke. But I think with our modernization of things, we want to take a pill and have an instant heal.
Yeah.
And so when you go, oh, I'm going to go and take this oil of oregano, and it doesn't, cure you right away. Then you go, it's not working. And it's like, no, you got to go every hour, especially if you have something acute. And so.
Yeah, I have their
peppermint.
The ones that are, I live by I love their peppermint, but I have some of their oils too that you can use for cooking, or you can put them in a capsule and take them. But I need to re-up. I've got to re-up mine. I'm like low on a lot of my stuff, but I love Raven. That one I like better than the RC. I don't know if it's more minty, and like RC kind of has like a lemony scent to me, like a I don't know, like you could use it as a cleaner too. It has that like Murphy's oil kind of smell.
Should I be cleaning my bathroom? Well, actually, when I travel, I take my spray thieves with me. And I spray everything. Like when I get on a plane, I spray the seat in front of me and the armrest and whatever. I spray the air. If I'm doing a long haul, if I go into the bathroom, I spray, because it's like, I want this to filter through the plane cabin. And I do use it. Like it's not super recommended with the spray, but I spray it on my throat as a singer. And it's like, it'll turn things around for me. When I've strained, if I've been singing too hard and I've got lots of shows to do.
Hold on
I
one
will.
second. What is that? Oh, give it to her.
Yeah.
She won't take it. I'll take. Okay, hold on one second. I have to pill my dog. Sorry. Okay. My daughter came in and just got like the thing, and I'm like, what is it, a frog? I can't see that far.
My wife has allergic rhinitis, especially to cherry blossoms in the spring. And any kind of pollen sets her nose off. And I got this on Amazon. It's what is it? It's one of those things. It's really an extreme tool, but it draws air in, and everything that goes in there gets zapped with electricity, and it gets killed. Everything, mold, pollen, dust, everything.
Yeah.
So I bought this last year, and like it leaves behind a chlorine sort of a smell, because it kills everything that gets drawn inside of it.
Wow.
And what I'll do is I'll go like into our bedroom, because that's where she spends 6-8 hours while she's at work, and I'll turn this on for about a half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. And well, long story short, after I run this for 10 to 20 minutes in any room, then I air it out while she's at work. She has not had rhinitis since I got this thing right here.
And so what is that called again?
Oh, what do they call it? An ionizer?
Okay.
What it does, I can't remember what the hell the name of the thing is. It's got a timer on it.
Yeah.
And it kills everything. In fact, I smelled mold underneath the kitchen sink the other day. I put this thing underneath the kitchen sink, turned it on, went to the supermarket, came back, and I haven't smelled that mold at all since then.
Wow.
Because anything, you know how mold is. I'm allergic to black mold. If I inhale those spores, I'm in trouble. Kills everything. But if you've got problems with sinuses, get one of these little things, man. Okay. It works. My wife hasn't gotten sick since.
Yeah, because over where we live in the Pacific Northwest, it's very damp. There is I go to people's houses, and you just walk in and you go, wow, the mildew in your home is just wicked.
Yeah. Yeah. That will make me sick. The smell of mildew and mold. And I will put this thing into all of our bathrooms for 10 minutes or so, once a month, once every 2 or 3 months, and it kills shower mold. It kills everything.
Wow.
And but I'm so happy though, because my wife used to really suffer from allergic rhinitis, and ever since I got that, no more. It stops everything.
And wow. How often do you do it, Bob?
I do this probably once every week or two in the springtime for the pollen.
To drop
and I use this underneath our kitchen sink a week ago.
Okay. Yeah, my dad's
I smelled the mold underneath the kitchen sink, and it killed it.
Yeah, my dad's had to replace that. In not just, I would say, most houses, that particular board that is underneath the sink and the pipes. In 2 different kitchens, he's had to cut it out, route it out, and replace the wood. And it's usually on the other side. You don't realize the moisture that builds up and grows things. And he's done that. I wouldn't mind one of those, but with our dog, we have to get everybody out of the house. Because it generates ozone.
Ozone,
but it's
that's what it is. It's an ozone generator. I think this thing cost about $80 on Amazon. It's been worth it. Because
I would definitely want to use it, but I would be afraid that I would get the timer wrong and like walk back in the house. And
it's not as nuclear as you might think. Because they say, don't get it around your house plants or whatever. But my house plants haven't been bothered by it. I mean, you would have to put it in a sealed room with this thing on for an hour to be able to kill your house plants. Because it strips oxygen out of the air. It strips everything and just burns it up. But
so that's true too. Move the plants. I wasn't even thinking about that. If you have plants inside, you've got to bring them out too.
I started off doing it like that, Carol, but I started experimenting. About 10 minutes in any room is enough to kill all the dust, and it doesn't hurt the plants.
Okay. So it charges the dust. So does it drop? Like, does your wife notice that maybe the surfaces are a little more dusty after you do it, or does she
I haven't noticed. I do all the house cleaning. I'm retired.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're the trophy husband.
I'm the trophy.
Mercury wants to know if she have that problem in the Philippines, because it's quite humid there and moldy.
Yeah, she did.
Okay,
she did.
He was saying his wife has the allergies to mosquitoes and pollen in her new environment here. Let's see. In the Philippines, black mold is everywhere due to the tropical environment. And that's South Florida can get that way too. And that's what we have to be careful of. And what's worse is the only way to get rid of the staining is usually with a bleach. And that's not good for my lungs.
Yeah, my wife can't tolerate bleach,
Yeah, but it with, especially too with the tile floors with our grout bleach. Like, it's really hard to find something that gets them really clean. And I went, this is so gross. This is what I was going to share, because it's gross and it's real. It's a real thing.
Don't share gross stuff.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's gross and it's real life. So I thought,
might as well. Bring it.
Bring it. We're adults.
So I go out, I'm like, I need to do these floors. It's been a while before I got out my little Hoover scrubber thing. And it's like one of those massive things. I can't think of the formal name. The floor mate. I have a floor mate thing. It's heavy as heck. It's probably like 25 pounds, but it's got those scrubbers on the bottom, and the cleaner goes through and it like puts out the cleaner, and then it suctions it back up and it scrubs your floor. Does all the cool things for a tile floor. I take it out of the garage. I don't remember when was the last time I used it. So it had stuff in the dirty tank still.
You gagged a little bit just then, didn't you? You just puked in your mouth, didn't you?
And what's bad enough is it's 2 girls are in this house. Well, I'm a woman, 2 young women, one young woman and her mother. And there's hair and stuff growing in that tank. And I'm like, well, that's not going near the floor today. I guess I have to clean this first. I was like, oh, I gotta clean it.
Hey, my wife's got that long Asian hair, and their strands of hair are thicker than Caucasian, right? I got that shower goblin once in a while, you know.
Yep.
I've got a brush over there that goes down in there, and I got to push it in there, and then twist it in there, and pull out this.
Somebody posted that today. That was who was that? Danny posted that, and it looked like a shower. It was like this little ball of hair with an eye and like
little bits of soap, and God only knows what else. Oh, God,
oh, I know. There's a lot come on Friday night. That's why I was even debating to Kentucky Goblin. Plus, one of the ones.
Hey, Randall.
I was watching. David the Good. He was having trouble. Like we were like joking around. Even it might have still been going on. Sean, who's in there, and he'll pop in here. I said, yeah, it's like we're watching something from an archive in 1990, but the sound is from 2023. He sings, and so like the audio was 2023, but we're watching like the 90s, and he's like, yeah. And then Sean says, yeah, the video's from MySpace, and we all just died in side chat like that. Yes, exactly. It's like a video from MySpace. But so I didn't even know I was going to come on Kentucky because it was pretty busy. But I'm the original Fri-yay. So have to. Gotta get it. Gotta do it. Oh, that's okay, Kentucky. I couldn't find you the other night, but Barry said you were having technical difficulties. But then I ended up in he's a really good grower, and I want to go over and watch some of his videos. Planter Garden TV, I think is how you say his channel. He's from over at oh darn it, Broke. He was in Broke's live is where I met him, and then I just fell into his live the other night, and oh my gosh, such a fun time. And he's got a lot of knowledge. He's been doing it a long time and building soil, and he's got the Jamaican accent, and so you like to listen to him, you know. You got to listen to him. And he was talking about he lifts these huge logs because he uses them to build soil. And I was joking. I'm like, yeah, well, in South Florida, we have these ants. They're called twig ants. And they're like a wasp without wings. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to be lifting logs for you.
And you have snakes there too.
Yes, we have snakes too. Yes, I'm not dropping no logs and stepping over one and getting hit by a rattler. But it is really good if you can do the smaller logs too. You can inoculate them and grow mushrooms. That was on another channel I saw it. He put logs all over, small logs up against his raised beds, and was growing mushrooms, not inoculated them. And I was like, that's genius. And then it inoculates too. Like if you have any mulch, certain mulches, it will inoculate them. So then you've already got an area that's got all these fancy mushrooms that would cost you a fortune at the store. I was like, love it.
You see the comment from Mercury, his wife's Filipina. Filipina's hair is like wire. Yeah, it sure as hell is. It's thick and it doesn't go down the drain, man. One of these days, I think next time I go and get that shower goblin out of the drain, I'm going to have my 45 with me in case that thing comes alive and tries to kill it. Pow, pow, pow.
Oh, she was there too, but she didn't get to participate in side chat. Wasn't it fun? That was so funny last night. Yeah, it was good because I met this other channel. Her name is Kiki, and I can't think of what the whole channel is called. But she is a hunter. She hunts. She does everything off the land. Fisherwoman hunts.
Right on.
And she had that Edo. Have you seen that, Maureen? The Edo they use it in the Caribbean as a starch, but they use it for like as a potato. She says they can use it as porridge. I am so getting it. It looks like when it grows, it looks kind of like an elephant ear. But she said it's not the elephant ear one. She's like, this is that. I was like, oh, you know how what we said, like we have to tell ourselves no, but I'm like, no, I got a little money. I just sold some on eBay. I'm gonna go get that Edo.
It's called Edo?
Yeah, it's EDO.
Oh.
Edo. EDDO. And it doesn't, it's just you're bringing up the tubers that don't look like much of anything, but like a potato, like it brings a bunch of them up. And then you just restart the plant and it does it again. Like I didn't get to see her video today, but she was pulling up more for fall. It was for her fall's harvest. Oh, you're growing lion's mane? Say what? Where'd you get that? Did you buy like an inoculated something? Tell me. Duncan, you can always come up too. Like, you know, you're welcome. Yes, I have cassava. I have cassava.
Good night, Kentucky Gobble.
Oh, good night, Kentucky Gobble.
Is it cassava?
No, cassava is a different plant. No, Edo is.
Well, yeah, I did look up. I did look it up.
It's pretty. Did you find some like on Etsy or?
No, just looking at
what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and just so that I can just so I can look at it and research it later.
I have cassava, Mercury 3 Actual, and I also order some from Glenn at How to Garden, which, you know, he'll do you a deal if you want to grow cassava if you're in this area. So look him up. Let me see if I can get the Edo and I'll put it up. But yeah, that was kind of cool to learn of another starch that I could grow down here. But she was growing it all the way up in Maryland. I was surprised.
Right.
So you might be able to get away with it too.
Yeah.
Like in the warmer months.
Yeah, up where I live, there is somebody that makes lion's mane kind of starter kits, and so it's a little box all ready to go, and you just take care of it. And so my some of my kidults have used the different
kidults. I love that.
I know, I love that too.
I love that kidults.
So
That's
creative.
how my kids are. They're kidults. Yeah. I'm gonna hang on to that one.
Mm-hmm. And so and it was fairly easy to manage, you know, just in the house and stuff like that.
Okay. I would like to do that, but I wonder if I can since it's such a moist environment down here. I wonder. Oh, I said that word. My daughter hates that word. Moist.
Yeah, but it's damp. It's damp on Vancouver Island, and we do it.
Yeah.
So you could grow it outside probably too. Then.
Yeah.
The lion's mane. Now, would it come back? I wonder after a freeze.
I don't know after a freeze. Like if it's outside, we just did it in the inside, and you know when you get the one flush, and then you can do it again.
Cool.
And I think my daughter has another place where she just gets little syringes of all different kinds of mushroom spores. Like
if they're online, I want to.
I will. If you send me a message, I will ask her.
Okay.
Because it is a company on the island. Whether they would send them. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would.
But then I guess too, you have to be careful that you're not grabbing the wrong mushroom if you inoculate it and it gets into your garden. Then you're not. Yeah, that you know exactly what you're grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would be the one who grabbed the poisonous one, of course. That looks like it.
As far as my gardening goes, I've told you guys this before, and I'm probably not going to grow vegetables again. It just wasn't worth the return, But this is the first year we tried growing stuff at this house. But strawberries and flowers, hell yeah.
No, you did fine with the spelling. That's fine. I can't spell really well. Spell check gets me even still when I do spell something correctly. Oh, you got it at the farmer's market. Okay, I'm gonna look it up because I do need to get the lion's mane is for your brain. It's really good, and with a fibrofog, and also too for thyroid and all those, you get the fog. So this is the Edo root. There's also, I'm gonna check out this article after I get off of here. where it talks about the difference between taro. Malanga is what I thought it was. When she dug it up, I thought it was malanga because the plant looks very similar. Oh, this is just one of those websites that's going to pop up all this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to read that later. So I'm going to leave it on that and pop it off. Drop it like it's hot. There we go. Drop it like it's edible. Let me see what's on the side chat. I'm kind of behind. Oh, I've never heard of that one. Kamote?
Komoto.
Kamote.
Yeah.
Hey, lady. Good to see you, Brenda. Hi.
Yeah. Hey, Tibor. I'll type in the comments what this is. It's a Enerzen ozone generator. I'll type the name of it for you there, Tibor. Thanks he trusts what I tell him. That says a lot. What's that?
That's lion's mane.
That's lion's mane coming out of the holes right there.
Oh, that's tasty.
Yum. Oh, Tiana's saying you have to be careful. It can affect your home. I guess if you have like
harvested them once.
If you have like it can cause real issues. Okay. The spores can spread. I don't have wood. I do have but they're painted, so I don't have any raw wood that the spores could get to. Is that what the concern is, Tian? Or inhaling it? Yeah, I have moringa in my backyard. I have a tree, Mercury, that is quite large that I actually need to trim down. And it's a favorite of the iguanas. I had a big day of getting so many things. Dehydrated. Oh, okay, hon. You were sick anyway. I'm surprised you came. I really appreciate it. You guys don't know Gardening Warrior Q, please check her out on her channel if you're watching the rerun like I'm a TV channel. Appreciate it. Great supporter of our channels.
Let's see.
They're all sick right now, like a flu-like thing. Malanga is awesome in soups. Why have I've heard that name. Malanga. Malange? I've heard that name before. On the building framing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. That would suck. Can you imagine like going up to clean out your attic and you've got like a shrimp farm up there?
That's why mine is in plastic.
Oh, okay. Is that how you did it? Okay. Mm-hmm. To keep it away from traveling.
I just bought the whole bag already inoculated and everything at the farmer's market and brought it home.
You're too cute. That's so cool. It almost looks like it's Play-Doh that's just kind of coming out. Like,
well, if you, I don't have real good lighting in here.
No, but I've seen them before where people are growing them, and it's just like it looks like that, like kind of like that. The Crayola one that's soft and white.
I really need a bigger container for them, but it's working on its
That's the other
flush.
Name for it. Okay.
The first one I had, was it like 4 of them that were like bigger than the size of my hand? Not that I have big hands, but still, they were pretty good size ones.
Yeah, thank you.
I put the name of that ozone generator in the side chat for you.
Okay.
Who was it asked some about?
It was Tibor. Yeah,
Tibor.
I wouldn't mind getting one too.
Yeah.
To do our house, especially our bathrooms.
It stopped all of that. It stopped all of that allergic rhinitis for my wife. It just stopped it, you know.
I started using an ionizer back in, the early 90s because my youngest daughter was super sick. She was the healthiest baby you ever seen till she was 9 months old. And at 9 months, I think the problem was I quit breastfeeding her at 9 months. And she started getting sick then. Between the time she was 9 months and 18 months old, she was hospitalized 4 times.
Oh my
and
goodness.
almost died. And still almost died several times after that. She also would quit breathing in her sleep.
Oh,
But
frightening.
we lived close to some old lead mines. And there was a lot of huge piles. I mean, they look like mountains of what they call chat, which is waste out of the lead mines. And when the wind would blow, it would look foggy, and it wasn't fog. It was just dust off of those chat piles. But she was severely allergic to it.
Oh my, I guess so, because that, they test autistic kids to make sure that it's not lead poisoning that they're dealing with, like with the autism, that it's because they look very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, my son had lead poisoning when he was younger, which it's a heavy metal. You never get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has a lot of nerve damage from it. He has a hard time walking and stuff.
Oh.
It really affected his the nerves going to his legs and stuff. He can be walking across the floor, and next thing you know, his legs just go out from under him, and he hits the floor.
Oh, gee, maybe I have heavy metals.
And he said it's like his legs disappear on him. He can't feel them. They just disappear.
had that happen for a little while when Malachi was smaller. I would be carrying him to his crib, and exactly that. It would my legs would buckle out of nowhere. They would just buckle. It was the scariest thing. Like, thankfully, when the times it happened, God must have had his hand on me, because I was right there where I could grab the crib and just wait it out for a second. And then, but I'm so sorry he goes through that. I am so sorry. That is.
Yeah.
So
the bad thing is he's in his he's 40 now. I say he's in his mid-30s, but he's not. He's 40.
Right.
Actually, he's 41. He'll be 42 in January. He can't
You
work.
have a wrench, don't you? Wait a minute, Maureen. Don't you have a wrench? Well, I want to let you post something.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not wrenched. I don't think I'm wrenched either, Carol.
I think you. Okay, you're definitely meaning wrench. Bob, I think you told me one time you didn't want it. That's why I didn't wrench you, but I'm going to give you one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Robert, what it was is to type out royalflushmushrooms.com. I was trying to break it up, but the thing was catching me. Royalflushmushrooms.com, and you can get it through Etsy.
Let me find it.
So if someone can write that.
I did. The weird comment I got, a notification, do you prefer Norwegian or Filipina? I answered that comment just now. I prefer my Filipino wife.
Good for you, Bob.
I've never heard of that.
That's a good response.
Never heard of that channel in my life. I'm like, what? You'd be trolling for, dude. What's the matter with you?
Is it enter Zen? I don't know. I just went to your channel by accident.
There's a lot of weirdos online.
Gosh, Mercury, I gotta check you out. I didn't realize that I'm a dork. Subscribe. I didn't realize you actually had a channel. I thought you were one of the sorry, hon. Because nobody had promoted you in any of the lives. Okay, everybody. Mercury 3 actually has a channel with videos on it. So check him out. He's not in a non. I thought you were in a non.
There, now it should work. Hopefully that'll work. Did that work? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So that's where you can get these. And they are here, or they are sold on the island. Thanks.
Nice.
Thanks, Robert.
Got it.
Yeah, now I have my own wrench. I don't need you. I don't need you, Robert. I can do my own dirty work.
Dirty work.
I
picked these up at the farmer's market.
I think that's great. You got a great farmer's market. Oh, wow. Nice.
I have to travel about an hour and a half for this farmer's market, but it is a great one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The page is gorgeous. Hold up. I got to show that mushroom.
Carol's over there drooling.
Yeah, it's just really
It's beautiful.
pretty. It's a pretty shot of the mushroom. Hold on.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go back. Bing, 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 bang. There we go. Let me
Isn't that
scroll.
gorgeous?
Isn't that pretty?
It's like you just want to grow up just for it to look like that.
Yeah. It's almost
Slice,
like
mist,
a
grow, and then
flower.
harvest and crop.
I have gotten the ones in the little boxes before, but this is the first time I've gotten one like this. And this dude is
that's
big.
not bad. Their kit's $19 for the
No.
lion's mane.
Yeah,
You can get a
that's not
4-pack.
How
4-pack
big
for
is it?
60. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Let's look. It says it's heat tolerant too. That's good. Oh, come on. Little. I don't know. It has the heat tolerant one. I don't know.
To grow even for children.
Highlights, scent. Oh, it tells you the scent of it? Shut up. Nope, doesn't tell you for this one. Okay, details.
Good night, Q.
I think they need to work on their website. It doesn't have the size that I'm seeing. It does not show the
All right, I
size.
should sign off too.
Okay.
Because I was, what did I make today? I made a gluten-free lasagna. I made a hamburger soup. I also roasted a ham and carnival squash.
Yum.
And so they're all, I need to get them all into the refrigerator and the freezer. So yeah, I think I made about 40 meals today.
Oh, your mom will so appreciate that after you're gone to have all those.
You know, you kind of live within driving distance, and I'm really freaking hungry right now.
Like a dumb waiter from where Maureen is at Bob's house.
Pulling it over, Bob.
Catapult.
Yeah. All right,
anyway,
Maureen. Thank you for coming up. Appreciate it. Much love to you and your family.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Later, Maureen.
Yeah, see you at Maureen's tomorrow. What time are you going on?
7 Pacific Standard Time.
So 10 my time.
Yep.
10 Eastern. Okay.
Yep. Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Is it okay if Barry comes up?
Of course. If he wants to come up, let me put the link in. Yeah, of course, Barry's always welcome. I just usually have to have a lady up with me. It's all. My husband's little leery of, and I don't blame him because, like what you've had to, and it was a male. They exist for women too.
Oh boy, yeah.
Stalkers. You know,
Why can't I get
privately, Carol, sometime how to get rid of stalkers?
Please tell me too. I'll listen. You know, I've got a real one, lives in the area, and then I've got another one online.
Storms. Barry's not feeling good, he said.
Well, okay. I got rid of my daughter's stalker.
I imagine
all I had to do was have a chat with him.
Of course. With your broom, probably. Your loaded broom, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe not.
She came to me one day at home and she's like, Mom, he's making circles around the block. He's getting ready to come around again, and this is like his 4th time. I'll fix this. I walked out by the road, waited for him to come up the road, and I stepped out in front of him and forced him to stop his car. Walked around to the side. And some people may want to plug their ears, but I just looked at him and I was asking him if he cherished his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I said, well, let me tell you where your family can find you and what body parts will be missing if you don't leave my daughter alone. Because I'm going to haul you out to the woods, tie you to a tree, and I'm going to cut your off and cram it down your throat and stand there and watch to see which happens first. If you bleed to death or if you choke to death on your own.
I did have a confrontation.
He left her. He left her alone.
I did have a confrontation with mine. I finally got him on video. He's on my channel, and I'm standing there in my garage yelling across and I'm, leave me alone, go away, and he didn't stop.
No,
he's an old gay boy, and he didn't stop.
Well, he's also psycho. Yeah, because there's old gay boys that aren't psycho. He's a psycho.
I tried going the
psychosexual or something. What was it, Bob? You said one time what it was called, psychosexual. So
it's a erotomaniac stalker.
That's
yeah.
So they would like that. What you said, Brenda, that would turn them on.
This guy was married, and well, you have to be able to say it in a very convincing way.
Yeah.
You have to get the message across. You mean business.
Yeah.
I tried going the legal way with him, and the cops were like, "Oh, he's harmless," because.
Yep.
They're all harmless until they
because he's lower. He was lower functioning, and I'm like, I don't care how he functions.
That's what the police
functioning near my daughter.
That's what the police told me when I had to sit down with the shift sergeant.
Yep.
And as soon as I said he's gay, he went, wait a minute. You need video and photographic evidence of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because most of our judges who issue out anything are gay. The lawyers are gay. So they're going to go against me.
Yeah.
They're going to file.
Well, I went and talked directly to the chief of police, and they were like, "Oh, he's harmless." I'm like, "Yeah, he's going to be harmless."
Oh, yes, they do need arrested, Grandpa. Mercury, I'll check out your channel. I'm so sorry that I didn't realize that you were really doing stuff over there. You have a great night. Appreciate you coming in. I still got to find my book that my dad had, because it'd be neat to find out if your grandpa and my dad cross paths over in Germany. Have a sweet night. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good night, Mercury 3 Actual.
Yeah, let me see if I've got it still open. I think that the endo thing, I might have closed it.
Oh, she had a cop trying to stalk her one time because
oh my gosh,
she was speeding and he gave her a ticket.
Oh,
well, it made him mad because we went and got a lawyer and got it reduced to a non-moving violation. So it would, hurt her insurance. It made him mad.
I bet it did.
Every time she went anywhere, he followed her. I mean, he followed her constantly. Finally, one day I got in her car and started driving around town, waited for him to follow me, got him on a straight stretch, and I pulled over and got out of the car, and all I done was pointed at him. He never
I see you.
Yeah, I see fingered you. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you. Yep, that's sometimes all they need. Is you got eyes on you too. Yeah. It's funny. We have an area here called Loxahatchee, and it's kind of like the country compared to all the city around here, which is really not city. It's like towns. It's just kind of getting congested. Anyway, out there you have larger lots. They have more agricultural lots and everything, and they talk about Loxahatchee law.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can't count on the cops to get there quickly all the time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
We had a guy break in our house one time. We're 3 miles from the sheriff's department. It took him over 45 minutes to get there.
Yep.
Come to find out, a few years later, the sheriff's son was in the car. Well, actually, it was his stepson was in the car with him. And they parked on the back street behind our house and was waiting for the guy to leave before they came over there. What? And then they didn't want to arrest him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I
they didn't want to do the paperwork, or they knew him.
They knew him.
They knew him. Yeah,
that's why. About small towns. I hate that part.
They knew him. Sure. Honey, he got away a few years before that. He got away with hitting one of the city police officers' wife's car. Hit her.
Oh my gosh.
Him and his brothers, none of them had a driver's license, no license on the car, and no insurance. They all got away with it.
Oh my. This is relation to the
the guy that broke in our house.
Wow.
Yeah. But guess what? That was on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them till 5 minutes till closing time for the prosecuting attorney's office.
Mm-hmm.
And I start calling the newsrooms in the city. And they started calling the prosecutor and the sheriff's department wanting to know what was going on down there.
Good for you.
Because what that man done, he should have been arrested immediately for. He broke in our house. He was higher than a kite and drunk both.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he used one blow with his body and went through the storm door and the inside door, and it didn't faze him. I mean, it didn't
See
faze
why
him.
I put a door reinforcement on my front door, Carol?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet that ticks you off to hear that story then, Mercury, that there's some that do not do what they're supposed to do.
Take a look at my channel, and I recently installed a steel strip on my front door just for that reason. Yeah. I'm into that home security stuff because we had so many attempted home invasions in the last place, and then that old queen stalker that I've got is like, yeah.
Well, just that scare. I told my husband, like, what if it wasn't the neighbor's son that was getting into our patio? What if it was?
Yeah.
What if it was somebody that was
trying to do
out
something?
Of their gourd?
Yeah.
I'm so
they
glad
don't even know what they're doing,
cameras.
and you can't stop them.
No, I know they're like super strength. Well, so are the kids that have autism. That's one of the things the police officer came when I had, and that helped too. When I had that gate shaking incident, I had it on video. So I was like, you know what, the heck with this. I'm going to call the non-emergency. I'm going to have him out. I'm going to talk to him, the policeman, and tell him what's been going on. He's like, oh, well, have you talked to your neighbor? And I was like, yes, I have them on text. I said, but I don't know if that is my neighbor's son because they said he's in bed. I said, and this person was at the very back gate shaking my gate. And I showed him the video. But it was like he went back and checked, and it's, the person's long gone.
Yeah.
However, next door, they took it seriously, and I haven't seen like him around. They're using they're here because their family is all around. So they have like cousins and stuff like that. So now they're using their family more to keep controlling him.
Keep him safeguarded.
And also it was kind of good what happened because they were able to get him help and get him like shots to help him.
Calm.
Because he had hit his mother, like he had beat her. He beat her one day before all this happened because he was supposed to go with dad on a vacation, and then his passport was not up to date. And as a severe autistic kid, he doesn't know why he can't get on the plane with dad. And suddenly he's not going, and he was looking forward to the trip because, you plan out the trip for an autistic child. Yeah. So it was just a big culmination of yuck. Yeah. Yuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Many people with different mental capacity.
Well, this guy, he
they said they're trained.
Him and my husband ended up going around and around, and they ended up on the floor. And in the process of rolling on the floor, because my husband didn't know what to do. My husband was not a fighter. All he could think was keep him close enough that he couldn't hit him. Well, he ended up biting bit my husband's nose off. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And they weren't going to do anything, and he did that to your What the?
Yep.
Did you guys have
They had no intentions of doing anything to him.
Because he's related to somebody. He's the one.
No, he wasn't related to him. He was a narc.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. He was a narc. That's how he got away with everything.
Yeah, that totally sucks.
Yeah, we found that out a few years later.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope we
sorry,
didn't
Mercury.
awaken PTSD. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, his own lawyers, public defenders, ended up hanging him because prosecuting attorney wouldn't. Prosecuting attorney wouldn't even talk to us.
Oh my gosh.
I did not know when it was going to court. In fact, they had sent word to us that the charges had been dropped against him because we had to move out of state because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't have my kids in the car with me if I did go anywhere because his family was constantly watching and they would try to run me off the road and stuff. Because they knew I was the one pushing to get him prosecuted. So we ended up having to move out of state. And we moved back, but moved into a different county. About a year, well, actually, it was a little over a year later. And one day, this fancy car pulled in my driveway, and these two guys got out with suits on and knocked on my door. And I answered the door, and I was like, "Can I help you?" And they were like, "Yeah." And they rattled off what their names was and said they were with the public defender's office. And they needed a statement in that case. I won't say his name, but in that case.
Because he
was like, "Come on in, boys."
About time. Justice was served.
I told him all the neighbors across the street and everything else that's seen what he done. And they went back and told him to plead guilty on a lesser charge.
Wow.
Otherwise, he would have got away with it.
That's so good. I'm glad they told him that.
Because I had a friend that she was actually a juvenile officer in that county, but her office was right next to the courtroom. And I went to her and found out when the court date and stuff was. And then it was canceled because he pled guilty. So then we had to wait for his sentencing date. And we went to his sentencing date. Prosecuting attorney was more shocked that we were there than he was. Because they had no intentions of prosecuting him.
What a dirtbag. But then again, like they all, like you said, he was an informant, and the prosecuting attorney probably knew that.
Oh, they did.
They had. Wow,
they did.
That's awful.
Well, that's why he got away with hitting one of the city police officers' wife.
She must have been pissed. Oh, sorry, Lord. Ooh, she must have been upset. Terrible.
I couldn't hardly believe that one, especially with who it was, because I was like, her husband didn't kill him for it?
Yeah, right.
What the heck?
What in the world? Yeah, that's a terrible call. I'm sorry you had to go on that. That always is a concern when you have an autistic child. And I live on a canal, and that's one of the reasons too we put up the fence.
Yeah.
But Daddy takes him for walks along it and drive. I release it to you, Jesus, because I just released that. But he doesn't thankfully show an interest in that, and he does know how to swim. He can swim, but
Did they ever find him, Mercury?
I know, I'm kind of hiding from the lights. He was afraid. Oh, I bet.
Oh, that's sad, but I'm glad Jen's found him.
I'm so glad you found him alive. So glad you found him alive.
He had to be scared. I mean, absolutely terrified.
Now, is that for like heat sensing the camera, Mercury? The FLIR camera? So you could sense, like, because it's from the fire department.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Seeing through things. Understanding is something I understand.
Yeah. I'm glad you were there.
I won't go in depth, but most people don't know it in the homestead community. I have lived a life of, constantly looking over my shoulder. My oldest two were almost kidnapped when they were little. No, it was because of someone else.
Oh my gosh. Should write a book. Make some money off of your stories.
It was My younger life was not a good life.
Mm.
And trying to get away from it and raise a family away from it was like trying to get away from the mafia or something.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now is all that though cleared up with
Oh,
this guy? Is he put away so his
Actually,
family
he's dead now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that worked too.
He served his time and he got out, but he died, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
From
Yeah.
drugs?
Oh, I'm
Like
sure they played a role in it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. But I'm sorry. I've been blessed. I'm blessed not to
You
have to deal with
never
that.
know, and never think
No,
that
you
it
don't.
can't happen, because it can.
Oh yeah, no. I
But
mean, I'm blessed up to this point
that's
because it can. You're right.
that's one reason why I am extremely protective of my kids, even though my kids are all adults now.
Yeah.
But I'm extremely protective of them.
Yeah. I'm very mama bearish anyway. I didn't mean to be. I think our Generation X at least, we became the helicopter parents because our parents, a lot of them weren't. They were like,
Yeah. My mom
they
didn't
talk
work.
about
My
free
mom
range
was a
children,
stay-at-home.
but yeah.
My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but my mom passed away young. She was only 42 when she died.
Oh wow.
My oldest daughter is 43. She's older than my mother was when my mom passed away, which seems really, really weird.
She brought me my Berger.
Ah.
My wife's home.
That might be a little too personal. I don't know.
What, a Berger?
No, the file. The file on the case. Because it has all her information in it, Mercury. So it might be too much. Yeah, it was a thermal imaging camera. Okay. Good. I'm glad you thought to even use that. Genius. I can't believe nobody else did in the search and rescue. I'd be shocked to know when they ask for volunteers to help search for the missing, you submit to a background check. Many kidnappers volunteer. Yes, I've heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. I've
so
seen
disgusting.
cases of that. They're usually looking at people who volunteer.
That's what I watch a lot of those crime things. Yeah.
Because more than likely, if it's a child and they were kidnapped, the kidnapper's in with that volunteer crowd looking for them.
And that, what I don't understand is like, are they gloating? Are they thinking they're hiding? Like
they are.
Are they trying to redirect the group away from?
They're so much smarter than anyone else that they'll never get caught.
Yeah,
so
they think they're
narcissism
smarter
in that kind of.
Oh yeah, big time. Gross. And they're also reliving it.
Oh, so sick. Like, why are these demonic people with skin on? It's like demons with skin. Demons with skin. So sad.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy world out there.
Well, let's try and lighten up the conversation because I've got people that are former law enforcement who might listen to this, and I don't want to give anybody any kind of flashbacks and PTSD. And
I understand that.
Yeah, but when you grow, do you also take a break during the winter time, or have you grown things inside? Like, what do you prefer to do with the colder months, Duncan?
Feed wood stoves.
That's right, I forgot you do that. If you guys don't know Brenda, she feeds the wood stoves all night long in her home. She gets like very little sleep in between.
Very little. I'm usually lucky in the winter time to get a 1 to 2 hour nap in a day.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of days I don't get any sleep.
So it's all wood burning heat in your house. There's not. Oh my.
I have 2 wood burning stoves that are just for heat, and then I have my cooking stove, in the kitchen that's wood burning.
So you don't want to use like any of the plug-in ones, or is it just too expensive? It's easier to like.
Oh, honey, it would cost a fortune to heat this house, and then probably still couldn't heat it well. This house was built in 1900. It's old.
Oh, they don't have insulation in those places.
Yeah, a lot of them don't. No. It was newspaper. You see them rip down the walls in some of those old houses.
There's not even that.
Newspaper.
You can go all the way up in our attic and look down the wall and see all the way to the basement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you fill that though with foam? Give me something. Get up there.
I don't know.
It'd
be fun trying.
Right.
These houses, when they were built back then, were built for. These walls actually breathe in the summertime. It keeps the house cooler because the air circulates through these walls.
Okay, got it. That makes
and
sense.
that was the main reason they built them the way they did back then. These walls don't even have fire breaks in them. There's nothing in them.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So it goes right up if something. So then, you've got fire though, but space heaters are kind of dangerous. Any of the small appliances are usually the ones that start the fires when there's an electrical fire in the house.
Oh, yeah. Well, and this is a big old house. I mean, it's a big old house.
Yeah. There could have been, Barry. See his anybody side, and there could have been. She don't mess around. Yeah, that was a great idea, Mercury, that you thought right away, though.
Well, we haven't seen any so far, but you never know.
That's right, you don't. Yeah, that's right. They're not bodies anymore. They'd be skeletons.
It would
be nice to look down one of them walls and find, a jar with, money rolled up in it or whatever.
Yeah, the money. Yeah, instead of the mattress, they put it in a wall.
Hey, go for broke, full of gold coins. How's that sound?
Yeah, that would be great. Under a floorboard, a big bullion that just fell off a coach or a wagon or something. Because it's early 1800s. Is it your place?
This house? 1900.
Oh, 19. Okay.
Yeah. It was listed at the county courthouse in 1900 as the Duncan Homestead.
Oh, neat. I'm not saying neat to this. That's horrible. Riversville probably. Oh, that's awful. Tibor, that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Endangered plants.
Yeah, that's what I do. Endangered plants. Bob always liked that I said
that. You're so devious, Carol. I love that. I'm going to get this endangered tree and bury you under this endangered tree. I love that.
I don't even remember what we were goofing around about, and I said that. Yeah,
probably me goofing around about the basement and all that stuff.
I came back at you. Yep. Oh, okay, really?
It's an endangered tree and it's protected in the state of Florida, and I'll bury you underneath one of those in my backyard so they won't pick it up. Oh, okay.
It works. Yeah, Tibor, we don't swim in our rivers down here because you get eaten. Or you can get bit by a moccasin. No, thank you. But no, we don't swim in fresh water. Although there's some people who do, and I'm like, yeah, you're nuts.
I've been to Florida. No way. I will never swim in fresh water there. No.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
There's this short of
I won't swim in water here.
Yeah, I don't even go in the ocean anymore here. There's this video of these guys, and you see them throw something it's such a nice calm day, it's beautiful, look at it, water looks so calm, we should go for a dip. And I don't remember what they throw out. I don't remember, but all of a sudden they throw something out in the water, and you see
explodes.
It explodes because the gators are in it. I'm like, yeah, that's okay now.
There you are.
I told you all that, how when we were in Kissimmee visiting my grandma, my uncle would take us fishing in Shingle Creek, Kissimmee, Florida, after dinner, catch some catfish. And one night, these huge bass were flying right over the creek, eating the bugs and all that stuff. And the water just exploded. And I said, Uncle, what was that? And he goes, Oh, it's probably just a gator. A gator here, right there. He goes, oh yeah, they live in this creek. Oh yeah, right there. He goes,
He let
yeah,
you.
yeah, and we're right on the edge of the water with our fishing poles. Oh yeah, Bobby, where else do you think they're gonna live? I want to go back to Seattle.
I'd be like backing up immediately. Excuse
I did. Mm-hmm.
I bet you did. Oh, if we had insulation. Oh, they got the insulation blown into the walls and in the attic. Oh, it set it on fire?
It can.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because the dust is probably combustible. Especially if you're heating with you're burning like wood and stuff, just takes a spark.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see them on here or not. This is a picture of our house.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it. And it's got the dual chimneys like my grandfather's.
Oh, yeah.
house.
Right on, right on.
The old farmhouse. Oh, it's really pretty. Love it, Duncan.
This one on this side, the flue on, whoops, I'm pointing the wrong way. On this side,
oops.
That was weird.
The side without your wraparound porch, you mean? That side?
Yeah.
Okay.
That flue is actually the one right here by me.
Okay.
There's a stove in the living room, but it's a dual flue. Because on the other wall in the kitchen is where I can hook up the wood cook stove.
You have a ghost Mercury?
Okay.
Where'd that is, Reed?
Floodgates. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, ours is a canal, a drainage canal too, Gear. I don't know when they flush it, actually, to tell you the truth. It would be good to maybe know if they have a schedule.
Oh, I love these cameras. I heard a door close out front.
Yeah, I like mine too.
I just heard a door close and I looked at the cameras and that was just my wife forgot something in the car and went out. Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have outside cameras now. And we have solar spotlights that are motion detected.
Yep, I got a bunch of those.
We have a bunch of them too, because we had an incident here. I don't know, what's it been, about a month and a half ago? Somebody, we're thinking they put either antifreeze or Mountain Dew, which we're thinking more along the lines of Mountain Dew, in the gas tank of our tractor.
Oh, no.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong with people? Dang.
He lost control. This guy lost control of his stepdaughter. And he's mad at me because she's living here.
Oh.
Where he can't get to her.
One of them. Lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, we already had lights in, but I went ahead and bought a system and put cameras in.
Horrible storms. Wow, Barry. That's scary.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did was security system and cut all the trees way back and on, and then I just keep adding on, and I add more and I add more.
That's what I want to do. I still need to put up my doorbell one that's from the same company, and I bought this company. It's called DZ's, I think. Is it DZEE? I think is the brand. And I bought their stuff because their cloud is within the country, or like nothing on our cameras goes outside the country. It's a USA company, because they were saying like with the Ring doorbells, they weren't staying in the country. They were exporting from the cameras. They were tapping into those. Yeah,
storms. The ceilings in this house, downstairs, they're 9.5 foot tall ceilings.
Wow.
Hard to heat that room.
Yeah. Well, you have to have ceiling fans to push the heat back down, or it would just all steady go up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the drop ceilings. It makes sense now why they had them. Storms. I had wondered about that because they had such beautiful rooms that were so, like, with the the architecture being artsy. Of course, I love the old farmhouses, but I wouldn't want to do what Duncan does for the winter time.
They get cold in the winter.
Yeah, that's what even Barry was saying. And I mean, people were saying.
What was it? 3 years ago, we had minus 35 wind chills for about a week. And even though I had 3 wood stoves going day and night, our dog's water bowl was about 1.5 feet from the stove here in the living room. And one morning, it still had a skift of ice on top of it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it gets frigid. Wow. That's what Tibor was saying. It's colder than a frog's butt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I lost my big toenails that year. It was so cold.
Oh my goodness. We were watching actually, I'm trying to think. Is it Antarctica? It was a base that was up there and they were training the soldiers in the outdoors, and it was like they made an area, like they carved it out in the snow, and then they made themselves a place to lay down and sit inside, and they leave like a column in the middle, I guess, to create more like a smaller space. Like it's a big space where they can all sit around, but then they leave the center solid, so it's less space to heat in there.
Yeah.
But that's what they were doing, was they were going around.
Well, this house is built to where every room is its own space.
Okay.
And we took the doors off, like the door going from here to the kitchen and the door going to the foyer. We took those off, but it originally had doors where you could close off a room and live just in a room or even 2 rooms. It's not open like most modern homes.
Yeah, the old houses had those big sliding doors between room to room.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the pocket doors. This one didn't have the pocket doors, but it did have doors. This living room has 3 doors. Almost every room in this house has at least 3 doors.
Yeah.
But it's so you can close it off from whatever rooms you don't want to heat or cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Mercury, that's interesting. I'm just reading side comments here. Move the mic down. Reading side comments. Sounds like this ghost is just a lost soul. It's not harmful.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Biblically, I don't know what those are.
The last house we lived in was kind of like that. It never bothered anybody till we started packing up to move, and then it got PO'd.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like throwing stuff and slamming stuff, and it picked up a really heavy ashtray one night. My 2 daughters and my niece were sitting on the couch, and I was sitting on the other side of the room in the chair. And this ashtray literally levitated up in the air and then just slammed, like somebody just slammed it as hard as they could on the coffee table.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It wasn't happy that we were moving.
Where's the anointing oil?
Yeah.
Holy water. Yeah.
When my wife and I were living in my mom's house years ago, taking care of Mom, that was not a ghost. That was a definitely demonic. It was a really scary thing. It was terrifying.
Oh yeah, because you talked about it scratched you too, and
yes, ma'am.
That's a bad demon. That's a death demon. Like they want to kill you when they're actually reaching out and touching you.
Then we moved to another house for 10 years, and we saw shadow people in there, and that's when I started learning. I took some lessons here locally on what to do,
we're
and YouTube, and I started smudging the house and holy water and prayer, ringing bells, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
burn sage.
Yeah, I used lavender because.
I'd be like, why are they around me, God? What's wrong with me that they're here?
Yeah, that's exactly what made me think, you know, and plus the guy down the street and
like who's the one bringing this around? Yeah.
What did I do? You know, why me? You know,
exactly.
Well, burning sage cleanses the air, but it doesn't just cleanse the air of things like that. It also kills germs. It literally cleanses the air. It will kill germs in the air.
Does it
sage.
matter? Just sage.
I don't think it really matters. Most people use white sage, what they call white sage.
That's from some of the
you can burn almost any sage though, and it will cleanse the air.
Yeah, I've heard sage is excellent. I've heard too, like so much, like Passamaquoddy sent me stuff just on rosemary oil, and I actually put that in my essential diffuser. Now, like for my brain, it does something with your mind to where like it helps clear out the cobwebs.
Yeah, we used to live in a house that had those kind of weights in the windows.
Oh yeah, I remember the weighted windows. I've seen them actually on
this house. Probably originally had those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I can't think of her name. The lady, her name's Nicole. She's the designer who does the old houses, and she always tries to maintain their like original characteristics like that. She'll go to a professional who will redo the window rather than put in vinyl windows like some other people will do.
Somebody had already replaced all the windows in this house when we bought it.
Yeah.
So
help raise and drop the window in the kitchen. I was hanging on a broken rope. Oh yeah, when you would get the change of temps or even probably a breeze that would somehow get through a crack. Tap, tap, tap.
There are plantation homes in Missouri.
Yeah, I do that when I pray
I
sometimes.
Can show you several of them.
Yeah,
they're generally not fun houses.
Yeah, I definitely open a door when I pray and feel like I'm pressed and tell them to leave and not to touch anybody in my family either. But I do something else. I don't burn sage. I just plead the blood of Jesus over. I plead the blood of Jesus over my daughter, over my son, over my husband.
I will usually bind them and then I send them back to hell where they came from.
Yeah.
I had to get angry at that demon. And the weird thing is both times that it opened my bedroom door, my wife was on Skype with me, and she saw it both times. But I started learning. I made a whole bunch of these brass bells. I made that and in the last house we lived in, I would frequently, even when I didn't see any of the shadow people or none of that, I would still walk around the house ringing bells, throwing holy water, and praying. You know, my wife had that allergy stuff, and so smudging wasn't an option all the time.
Yeah,
but I learned. I took some lessons from a local lady here that she told me that the bad ones or spirits in general don't like bells. It makes them leave. So I was like, leave a window open.
Well, they shouldn't
even
come here then.
I
have wind chimes all over the place on the outside of my house.
Yeah, I would never do that, Mercury. I can understand why your wife fell out of bed so much. Yeah. Actually, the lady who took care of my mom as her CNA, who also taught me stuff, her father was, I think, he was black, and the mother was Cherokee. She's very unusual looking. Yeah. And this was in Mississippi. They killed the mother. And the father couldn't sit with the kids on the bus to get the hell out of there because the kids looked different than him. They were lighter, like she was a lighter Cherokee. And so she looked almost white, but she had like the lady who came and helped, she looked mixed. And then when she took off her mask, though, she had the face of Cherokee down here with the mask on. You couldn't tell, but it was all Cherokee. Yeah. And she said, like, I would never go down there and get a plantation in Mississippi after hearing that story. And he's saying one in
T-Bar, I just like wind chimes. I like hearing them. I really like the big ones. The really big ones sound like church bells to me, and I just like the sound of them. But if the bad demons don't like bells, they wouldn't like my house because there's wind chimes going all over the place. I've got them all over my garden too.
Oh wow, your wife had nightmares.
Yeah, that's whenever we would see the shadow people in our last place, my wife would pray, and then I'd do the physical stuff, ringing bells, holy water, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the wind chimes. My husband's sensitive to that sound though, so now I have one that's real light sounding. And what's nice about what Bob, got me turned on to was all these. Oh, that doesn't sound right, Bob. I'm sorry. The cameras, but the camera's right near my wind chime, so it's far enough away from not to bother him. But if I turn my camera sound on, I can hear him when the wind's blowing and stuff.
Cool.
And I can sometimes hear him too anyway, like just a little bit. But yeah, I like those light wind chimes. I can see why he didn't like it. It was like from his dad left his mom with his stepmom, and she sent us the wind chimes, and they were like larger, loud ones. So there might have been a little bit of something there other than just the sound of them, maybe. But yeah, I like the light, pretty tinkly ones.
I like the big loud ones.
The bong bong bong. I wouldn't mind those either. I'm just with my husband. I know he would toss them. He threw them out. That's what he did. He went outside.
Oh Lord.
Tossed them in the garbage. And I was like,
do you have any idea what that size of wind chimes cost?
No.
Yeah, our friend Ami gave us wind chimes that are about this long and great big for a housewarming gift. And I love those things. It's got a clapper on it about that big and just boom,
boom. Yeah, it sounds like church bells. To me, they remind me of church bells, the old time church bells.
Aswang. Oh God. Did you really see an aswang? That's a ghoul like thing over in the Philippines.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Amen.
Really, you saw an aswang?
That's right.
God.
Power of Jesus, be gone. You're beneath my feet. How about? Let me see.
Yep. See you beneath God.
That's right. How about this? Last place we live, we could hear a woman's voice.
They have been known to follow people. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like with your wife, that's when you get out the anointing oil and you anoint her and you anoint her mind.
Yeah.
And consecrate it to Christ. So yeah, that they do follow and they do torment certain people.
Where do you work at, Gear?
Wow, 650 gear? What are they made of?
Oh, they have a set at Family Center here that I would love to have. Which Family Center is like a ranch and farm store. Them dudes are $899 though.
Oh no. Yeah, you got to pray over that. You don't. They're so drawn into that though.
Each time on it is probably that big around.
Wow, Duncan.
Ooh, I like that.
But they're $899. I can't afford that one.
Ouch. That's spendy.
Ouch ain't the word for it. It's big time ouch.
I missed it. What was the material they were made out of? Because I was reading Mercury Actuals. Yeah, how sweet dreams, Mercury, if you get my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, they're so into that personal power stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you can't tell me on here? Okay.
Oh, what? Where he works? Yeah, I wouldn't want him to.
Yeah, I'm real careful.
Well, I wasn't. I thought maybe if it was a store that's there's multiples of it, wouldn't matter. But
yeah,
just too many weirdos out there. Don't risk it.
Yeah.
T-Bar likes his ghost. He's like, she's fine. She must be lonely. She's gonna follow you and maybe show another side. Oh, I'll be darned. Maybe that's. Yeah, but my husband, yeah, that's interesting. Maybe it gave him the creeps. I mean, I can't blame him. It was from, like, there were certain things that, yeah, just, wow.
Yeah, I've talked to my Filipino relatives about aswang and different things like that, but I didn't know that about wind chimes that they call in. That's odd.
Yeah, that is odd.
Here
You
in
guys
the West,
yeah.
Here in the West, we say that bells drive away evil
Drive 'em
spirits.
away.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild. That's
But
the
I talked to my nieces and my brother and sister-in-law and all about aswang. That's a ghoul, a monster that lives over in the Philippines. And one of the nieces said that yeah, they're real, but they live out in the country. And the other nieces and all just raised an eyebrow and went, huh?
Yeah.
What? She's really not my
Oh, so
cousin.
the
I don't
locals had
I
seen
don't
him.
know her. Barangay.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So was she an old crazy woman terrorizing the barangay? He didn't see the textbook
aswang.
kind. Okay.
There's so many things about an aswang. It says that it's a shapeshifter. It splits in half and it grows wings and splits in half and flies, and it's just kind of a catch-all. They also will abort babies in a pregnant woman and eat
God.
and it's like that's why I was kind of teasing the Filipinos about the aswang, and then the one niece Jin goes, oh, they're real, they live out in the province, and then the other nieces looked at her and went, she's really not my cousin, I don't really know her. they didn't say that, but I could see the way they were looking at her.
Sounds like two girls for sure. That sounds like two girls for sure teasing each other. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, that. Oh. Well, then maybe that's where that came from, Mercury. If you came in contact with that, she might have. Well, since you said your daughter isn't showing that interest.
Well, I used to call my nieces aswang, teasing them.
Yeah.
But my wife told me recently, she says that can also be called, you're calling them ugly. Oh, shit, sorry. Didn't know that, So I found a couple more mythical creatures. Duende. I'll call one of them Duende next. That means an elf, like little elf.
Yeah, an elf or a pixie or something.
Right. I got to come up with a nickname for one of the others.
But I heard about the Mothman. They have like Mothman festivals. I think they have them other places too, Tibor, or close to it.
Yeah. No, we have the Sasquatch out here in Washington State,
Yeah. I don't know what we have here. I've never really tuned into it nor wanted to. Homestead and I are kind of the same in that. Like, we're like, I don't want to talk about the creepy stuff. Not into it.
Yeah, Capre. That's another one. Capre.
Capre. I've heard of that.
No. This is a Filipino thing called Capre.
Oh, okay.
If I remember right, it's a giant. It sounds like the Filipinos were talking about the Spaniards. There's a great big monster that lives up in a tree with a beard and it smokes cigars. Called the Capre. I think that's the Capre.
Yeah, he's saying it now too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when the Filipinos describe it, I went, "You guys were describing the Spanish occupation, weren't you? A great big creature with a long beard and smoking cigars that lives in the tree." I went, "It sounds like the Spaniards." Oh, that's Manangal. Okay.
That's why.
Which one? Which is Capre? The one that lives in the dirt mounds in the forest?
Oh, wow. Dang, Mercury, you should come up and talk to Bob about that. You guys would have a good time.
Yeah,
you're trying to go to bed.
I stopped calling them. I stopped calling them aswang because I don't want to be mistaken as being an asshole.
Mothman probably died on someone's porch, right?
Or somebody's bug zapper.
Oh,
Yeah, somebody's
exactly.
bug zapper. Me, pop.
Just ate him slowly. Yes, elf. Okay.
Okay.
That's too funny, Tibor.
Duende and yeah. I just like nicknames for my nieces, the youngest one of the whole bunch. I'm going to call her Chicken Monkey for the rest of her life.
Chicken Monkey. That is something cute. Well, it's 2 a.m., guys, and I am starting to. And I appreciate you coming up,
it's
Bob,
1:10
and
here.
you coming up, Brenda. And I know, and you've got to feed to 5. Yes. Actually, how bad is it there?
It's not bad at the moment. We warmed up for the weekend. We're up in the 60s, and it's oh gosh, it's only 56 outside right now. So
that's nice. That's that's not too bad for you guys. At all. For me, I'd be like, oh, it's freezing.
Oh no, for us, that's just throw an extra blanket on the bed and go to bed anyway.
Oh yeah. That's like the winter here when it gets really cold and you still see the snowbirds out. Like, oh, it's beautiful, and they put on. And
look, the sun.
Oh, I would love to be in the south instead of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're more in the south, Gare, Missouri. All right, y'all. Thank you, side chat. Appreciate you. Thank you to those who.
It makes.
Hmm?
Oh, I said you'd be amazed at what a difference there is, even from where we used to live, which was still in Missouri.
Yeah.
But it was down in the southern part of Missouri by the Ozark Mountains.
Where are you in? You're in Missouri, but in the top of.
I'm about 50-ish miles south of Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And it's flat land here. We live on a prairie.
I was going to say, prairie land.
Yeah. Yep. And that winter wind, oh my Lord. It blows and blows and blows. Nonstop.
Oh my gosh. If it don't break, you'll be healed. I hope you had a really soft, pouch. Oh, Mercury's going to come up for a moment. You're muted, Mercury.
Yeah, I muted myself. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. No, it's very interesting. I've been going back and forth to the Philippines since about 2010. And I lived in Iloilo province for about 4 years. Oh, the superstition. And when they're talking about Capri, Duende, Manananggal. The Manananggal is the one, the witch that splits in half.
Oh, I thought it was Aswang. Okay.
No, Aswang is the one that flies. They're like a bat, and they land on the roof of the house.
Yeah.
And then they got the long tongue, and if the lady's pregnant, they suck the liver and the life out of the woman through the fetus. And wow, it's really interesting.
In there, folklore.
Yeah, they are. They're very descriptive.
Very creative folklore.
Actually, Tibor, 2 days ago, it was 18 degrees here.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, that's too cold for me. That would be too cold for my husband, even
it was like
20s.
It was like 68 for the high today, so. And 18 was the low at night, but yeah, it required some fires going.
Wow. Mercury, I'm glad you came up and because it was hard to see, understand it in chat. So thank you for coming up.
Well, we've been talking about Duende, and he said they live in mounds. And
that's okay.
Like I said, I lived in the mountains of Iloilo with my former wife passed away. I was married to a Filipina for 5 years, and she ended up getting pneumonia and passed away. But for quite a while, I lived in the jungle. I mean, literally.
Wow.
I have pictures of the Baha'i Cobalt. I don't have pictures of her out of respect for my wife now. In video.
Yeah.
And her family.
Yeah.
but that was some of the best time of my life. You know, the rice field and experience. We talked about the rivers and how fresh and all the fruit and stuff. They use so many pesticides to make sure that their harvest, their rice harvest, survives. They use so many pesticides, and
surprised to hear that over in the Philippines they do.
oh yeah, they will hire a guy that wears a mask and rubber clothes, and they spray the rice field. We had the rice field and the cornfield, and they're spraying like every 3-4 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
We lived on top of the mountain in Lemery and Latawan in Iloilo province, and at the top of the mountain is beautiful. The river, the creeks, they run beautiful. But when you start getting into the lower city, the people, they wash their clothes in the river.
Where all that runs off into.
Yeah, all the laundry detergent, and then they're taking a bath and the shampoo and the soap. And as you get lower in the mountain, you go like to Fri-yay. The river runs gray from the
gray water. Yep.
Yeah. It is so gray and nothing. There is no fish. Up in the mountain, you get like crayfish and little tiny fish, and they're excited to get those and bring them back for food. You get to the lower, there is so much plastic that people, it's such a...
Well, that's a shame. I thought it was more pristine than that. I didn't know that.
They've really cracked down on the plastic now. They have really cracked down on nationwide. Yeah.
I just learned that, and I didn't know this, that the recycling thing was actually a gimmick to get us to use the plastics. It was thought up so we would use the plastics and all the disposable plastics, whereas they were only going to recycle a percentage. They knew they could never recycle all that plastic.
Oh, they do now. They use a lot of it now. There's a big
they're learning now to recycle it into things. But back when it was developed that we were going to start using plastics, and then they're like, "Oh, we're having a problem. There's too much plastic in the environment." You know, they had already had the recycling thing planned, so we would be.
You would be amazed nowadays. You say something about returning. Back in the days, we used to return soda bottles.
Yeah, when they glass.
I remember the thought they get a nickel back.
Me too.
People are like,
I did it.
What?
Yep. I was right on the
return them, and they sterilize them and reuse them.
Yeah,
because it was glass.
People nowadays are like, oh, that's nasty.
Well, in the Philippines, when you get your soft drinks, there is a deposit on the bottle, but the person at the sari store or the local store, I'm sure the other gentleman can confirm this, they put it into a plastic bag and they give you a plastic straw.
And they keep the bottle or the can. Yeah,
correct, because they have to pay for that, and most people don't bring it back. And so that once the young person or the undisciplined person finishes their soft drink, that little plastic bag and that straw goes on the ground, ends up in a river, starts plugging stuff up, and I've seen it.
That's awful. That's so sad.
Yeah, the water in Davao. Well, you know how disciplined the people in Davao are because their former mayor was the former president. And if you break the law in Davao, you pay a price. Usually called 45 auto is the price you pay when you break the law there. So I've seen Davao is very clean, but I've seen some, and so is Palawan. The island of Palawan, very, very disciplined population there. But you got to come down hard on the population there to get them to pick up their freaking garbage.
Wow.
And
is that
for us, it's like, it's natural. We don't throw stuff on the ground, but some places, especially around Manila, Manila is a freaking armpit.
I was going to say the China influence. perhaps, because or no?
They don't care about anything but themselves.
Yeah, but I meant like, is that the filthiness, the plastics and everything,
probably.
is that more of like the Chinese
Yeah.
culture coming over?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
because
to an extent, I would say.
You hear that too, like China's heavily polluted. But then again, then I feel bad for China because we were sending them our trash. They were like buying
Well,
our
I do have to be honest. I've never experienced Mindanao or Palawan. I've only been to Iloilo, Panay Island, the Bisaya, and Luzon. So whatever the other gentleman talks about Mindanao, he's more of an expert than I am. So
yeah.
You know, there's 7,500 islands in the Philippines, and I've only been to like 3 or 4.
I had no clue. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I always wanted to go see those islands.
You should. It's a beautiful country.
There's over 750 dialects in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So they have the Filipino language or Tagalog. Like before, my former wife, she spoke Ilonggo, and I know Alemco Gamayan. I know a little of that, but my wife now, she's from Pampanga, so she speaks Kapampangan. So I learned a little bit of that Ditaklang.
They don't even have Tagalog though. Like if you try to learn it on, I think it was like some of the language apps. Because when, Bob and I first met and he would say certain words and stuff, I'm like, oh, their language is so cool. Let me look that up.
They actually do have it. It's on Google Translate. And I'm subscribed to a wonderful young lady that teaches Tagalog.
Okay.
Simple phrases.
Cool.
Whether
so
they
Google
have it on like
Siri
Rosetta.
Didn't know what the heck I was saying. Siri, when I asked for Tagalog from Siri, she's like, "Oh no, what?"
Well, they're like
go ahead.
With us as Americans, we speak everything with our
accent.
The vowels.
Yeah.
The vowels are a huge thing. Like bahu is BAHO, bahu, but most Americans would call it baho.
Oh,
so you got to be the accent is on the vowel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a hard enough time with English, so
that's why my family has told me, Bob, just speak English. Because I've tried to speak Tagalog. I've tried to speak Bisaya, especially Bisaya. That's an impossible language.
What was it? One time, Bob, you called somebody in the family like a whore or something.
I did. Well, what I did was, before we had our house over there and all that, we were staying at a hotel, and the wife had business to tend to. So I asked her in the hotel, I said, "Hon, how do you say good morning in Bisaya?" So she told me. So the taxi dropped me off at the family's house, and I walk in and I said, "Mayan buntag," Mayan buntag. And everybody in the house froze, and they turned their heads and looked at me. What did he just say?
Mayan buntag, that's proper.
No, not
at the time. It wasn't. At the time, he said something
I'm probably saying it differently now, but the real way to say it is Maayan Buntok.
There, okay. When you're there
not
with the family.
Buntog.
Okay, yeah.
Like Buntok is like morning, and Buntog means prostitute. So I was saying Mayan Buntog. That means like mountain prostitute. And everybody, and I was saying like hooker mountain, and everybody in the family went,
he wants to go to hooker.
What did he say?
To see all the tins hitting the floor.
Oh my God. And I went outside to light up a cigarette, and out comes my brother-in-law. I go, "Bob, bro, speak English." just speak English. Just in a
before you get yourself killed here. Yeah.
He's saying you're embarrassing us, bro. Just
I know. And
just go back to your English.
Yeah, and they're so polite there that they didn't tell me what I actually said. My daughter had to tell me later. Dad, you just said Hooker Mountain. I said, what? I guess a buntog means a fine young hooker from the squatters area.
Oh, wow! They say a lot with one word.
But yeah, see, that's it's and it's like, what? I said that to the family, and my daughter goes, "Yeah, Dad, you said something about a fine young hooker." I was like, what? What did I do?
But that's the finesse. When you have over 750 dialects, every dialect has a little bit different. And like if I say mahal, that has many different meanings. It depends on how it's used in a sentence. So if I said mahal ko, my love,
my love,
mahal kita, mahal na mahal kita, that means I love you very much.
Yeah, I love
but if
you
you're in the market,
directly.
you say
mahal means expensive.
It can mean expensive. That's where I was going. It's like
but if you screw it up,
how much is this? It's 75 pesos. It's like, oh, mahal yan. That's expensive.
Okay.
So,
but as a newcomer, you could say, "Oh, I love you."
Mahal buntog, mahal buntog. You're an expensive hooker.
That would be horrible. That's true. Like somebody could really screw with an app for people who travel and really mess some people up about
boy,
how
could
they
get somebody
break
killed,
into all
man.
these apps.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
That's why I took the family's advice. I just speak English. I just speak slowly, without too much intonation. Good morning. How are you today? And they'll process it in their brain, and they'll the mountain people don't speak much English, but they do understand it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, some can. Depends on where you go. When I was in the province of Iloilo, they couldn't even speak Tagalog. They only spoke Ilonggo.
Right.
So it's like alam mo English, wala. Alam mo Tagalog, wala. Alam mo Ilonggo. Oh, and then they're excited, and that's about all I went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I've also found it a really useful tool as your cell phone when you go there and take photographs of what you want. Like I had Ate drive me to a local mall, and I took a picture of a tube of caulking, some paint brushes, all that stuff. And when I went into the handyman store, I just showed the attendant photographs. He goes, "Okay," and he went over and got that, and light bulbs and different things. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, mahal yan, you got the foreigner price.
You ain't right, Homestead Aquarius. You
ain't
right.
Oh my God.
Now.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I had an incident at the house. Mercury will get a kick out of this. Okay, we live in Davao City, and the whole family was going out boating for a day, and I've been on the boats. It's not a big deal to me. And I was painting the iron fence around our house. I said, I'd rather stay here. I'm fine. You guys go. So I was there alone. And a little while later, here come these two 20-something-year-olds with these banging, sexy little bodies, half shirts, no bra, sexy. I mean, eye-popping, freaking sexy. They walk by my house, and I'm wham. There go my eyes, And I said, "Hey, where are you going?" And then they were going to go to the Sorry store, and we walked there. I didn't know where the Sorry was because we're new there, and they showed me and all that, and they started that daddy shit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Daddy.
Yep.
Daddy.
Everybody's daddy. If you're Canuck, you're daddy.
Yeah. Cano, if you're white, you're daddy.
Yeah.
And these two young, fine things, Daddy. And I bailed, man. I got my cigarettes and I got out of there. And while we're walking over there, one of them turned to me and said, I have a sideline.
Oh.
And she was letting me know that she'd bang me for money. I mean, just straight out. And I mean, she's got this, I'm like, I'm married, I'm married. And got to the sorry store and I'm bailed. Okay. They start that daddy stuff. And I hooked it back to my house, closed the gate, locked it. And I'm in the compound and they can see through the bars and they went, Daddy, can I have a light? And she held up one cigarette. I didn't buy nothing for him. I lit her cigarette through the bars and I went back towards my house and she goes, Daddy, where's your wife? Where's your wife, Daddy? He starts ringing the doorbell on the gate. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Daddy, where's your wife? I went in the house, slammed the door, and freaking locked it up. I got a video about it on my channel. It's called Trouble on Two Brown Legs.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm not hooked up for 220.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
It does happen. They think they can steal you from your wife. They'll try it.
They'll try it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's desperation in a lot of them.
Tibor says, how do you say U.S. dollars?
Well, it's just like that. Yeah, that's just like that. Yeah.
They know. They'll probably take a look at you and they know.
They know. Yeah.
That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, I was like, you think I'm gonna throw everything away for just sex?
They hope you will. Yeah,
they hope you will. But they were housekeepers. They were not from Davao. I could tell by the way they were talking. They were from the mountains, so they were a different tribe of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that when people come down from the mountains, it's a different dialect and everything.
Yeah, it's a different dialect, and I do have experience with that when I lived in Kellynog with my former wife. I should document or recount a lot of the stories that I had. We had a young guy. I don't want to say his name because now he's a Philippine national police officer.
Okay. No problem.
He came down from the mountain with his sister and his 3-year-old brother, and the crops failed. They were sharecroppers. And
grandfather was one. Yeah.
I was sitting up. We had a sorry store in the front of our house in Kellynog, and he took a shine to me, and he knew English, and we got to be friends. He was 18 years old, and my former wife and I said, "You know what? You're doing a good job. You're responsible." My wife's family took in the baby and his sister, and kind of took in. They were living under tarps.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Pop said they're very much like that there, and even here, they look out for one another.
And my former wife, her name was Joy. And
I was supposed to be Joy. My parents.
She's such a sweetheart. I said, I'll pay for your schooling. If you go to school, we'll help your brother, we'll help your sister, and we'll send some extra food up to the mom and dad. They had some other kids up in the mountain. And he ended up graduating college. It cost me like over 4 years, it cost me like $1,000 in 4 years. And he graduated and became a Philippine national police officer.
But only $1,000. That's like unheard of in the
for like 4 years.
Yeah, that's very unheard of.
Yeah, and we sent all of our nieces to university.
2 classes. Yeah, that's probably 2 classes now. When I was in school, it was 3. That was it. Was $1,000.
Well, you're talking the Philippines, and then they have to take their. You have to pay to to take certain tests and
To
stuff.
sit for exams. Yeah, that's here. You do too. Your
Well,
professional exams you pay
his
for.
first daughter, she's my Inanak, which means goddaughter,
Mhm.
and they still contact me, and I bought them
Aw.
boots and bought them some clothes, and
Aw.
it's so little. Like
Mm.
right now, I think if I'm not wrong, it's about 54 or 55 pesos to $1. So
Mhm.
if you
Yeah.
send them
Yeah.
like $100, it's like
Mhm.
4,000 pesos, which is like a week's worth of wages.
Yep.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
At least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob used to talk about, was it balalong box? How do you say the box, Bob?
I sent a lot of
Balak,
balakbayan boxes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
Balakbayon
Mhm.
to the family.
Yeah,
Talked about
Blick
sending it.
Bayan.
Yeah.
And we're helping some of our nieces and nephews, and
Mhm.
We do too.
you know,
Yeah.
and they're doing a lot better.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Did
You know,
any of the other ones do as well as him, the one that went to school? Did they try and were they able to follow in his footsteps, or?
The sister, Joanne was her
Mm.
name, or is her name.
Mhm.
She ended up going to school. We helped her go to school, but for females in the Philippines, it's way different than the males. There's a social class with the females. If you're older than 25 and don't have a certain look, you're not going to get a job.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yep. They
Yeah.
don't have age discrimination laws over there. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have age.
But
And
it's a look. But you have to have a certain look to
It's
get.
called a pleasing personality. You have to be a good-looking woman to be a sales lady. You got to be a hottie.
You actually
Yeah.
have to go to
Yeah.
college to be
Yeah.
a sales associate in, say,
Oh, wow.
SM Mall.
Yep.
And then you
Okay.
have to have, and they will walk through if the employees don't have certain makeup and certain hair, certain shoes, certain legs, certain body type, you're not going to hold that job very long.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's weird
gosh.
over there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I want my daughter being in the industry with aesthetics, or she's going to be an esthetician. There's some discrimination there too, which I, worry about moving forward. Because I'm
Yeah.
seeing some of these medical spas and who they hire, and they of course look like they do stuff with the medical spa. Not a crease on the face at all.
You know,
And
and not to be disrespectful to the Philippine culture, because I love the
yeah,
Philippines. That's my second home. If you're 25 to 30 years old, you're considered, and not married, you're considered a leftover woman, and your chances of getting a job or having a future is very low.
oh my
And
goodness,
I'm not being disrespectful. It's just based on what I've
It's the
seen.
truth.
their
Yeah.
culture. It's just how the
Yeah.
culture
And usually
operates.
it's the women put that on other women,
Of
not
course.
so much the men.
That's
The
why I
men.
liked hanging with guys in school. We
Yeah.
have problems with that too, the cattiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it sounds horrible. That sounds even way worse.
I think if they would turn their country around so quickly if they pass legislation about age discrimination. Because here you can work until you decide to retire, no matter how old you are, and they can't fire you. But there, they fire you.
Well,
once you get about 35, you're gone. That's it.
Right.
Wow. Only
And
35?
that's why if you go on to a lot of Filipina channels, especially the ones that I go to, and I'm not promoting anybody specific.
Yeah. No,
there's
Bob
a lot
likes
of
his too. You can say it if they're a good channel and they need American help.
There's
Bob's done that
a lot of
too.
beautiful ladies out there that some are married, some their husbands. That's a little bit different story too. They might have had a husband that went somewhere else, and now they're left alone with 2-3 kids and trying to support themselves. But they're called OFWs, overseas Filipino worker.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ladies, once they reach a certain age, They can't get a job in the Philippines, so they go to Singapore, they go to China, they go to Russia, they come to America, Saudi Arabia, and they're in their 30s and close to their 40s, just sending money back to try to keep the family alive, and they're getting messed over on their wages because the agencies that send them over there take a lot of their wage and only give them a little bit to send back home. And it's a very, very sad thing to see OFWs overseas Filipino workers.
I'd rather have those women come in south of the border than some of the stuff that we have coming over.
Bingo. Because they've been vetted. Yeah. They've been vetted. That's why sometimes on lives I'm an asshole because I hear people from the West snivel and complain, especially the feminazis. I'll just tell them directly, shut the F up. You have no idea what you're talking about. You have such hardships. You should go overseas and see how lucky you really are.
Yeah.
Especially to the Philippines. I don't think they realize what those women are going through. I didn't realize it was that like physically based. Like how
and the men too, like my brother-in-law, he's a journeyman electrician and he worked in the shipyards for years. Once he came up almost 50 years old, even though he's a bodybuilder, he's in good health.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's handsome.
Coming up on 50 years old, you're fired.
Is it because they just want the like energy of the youth for all the work? Like why?
It's the pay. They can hire an 18-year-old to 18-year-old sales girl,
we're getting that here,
or an 18-year-old electrician for almost nothing. Where if you got a journeyman or an experience, you got to pay him more.
Yeah, that's why my husband stays with that.
All the big businesses over there are owned by the Chinese.
Based on my experience, experience don't matter. They just want the cheapest and the easiest.
Yeah, the cheapest. Yeah. They don't give a shit if you know how to do the job or not. They just want to pay.
That's pretty much why we ended up here where we're at, where we used to live at down in the southern part of Missouri. They closed the doors on a factory that was carrying the rest of the company. All the other factories in that company could not meet their quotas. This factory was meeting it for all the rest of them. And they ended up closing the doors on this factory and moving it to where they could get cheaper wages.
Yeah.
And they almost lost the company. They almost went bankrupt over it because it was a stupid move. I would rather pay a little more for a good worker than
me too. Somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah.
I think Tibor, that's that culture, and I wasn't a part of the Hannah did horseback riding. We did like volleyball for a little bit because team sports locally, but just the dealing with the adults, not the kids. If you've ever dealt with like team sports in the city and having to deal with the adults who can just go psycho and it's kids. But she what was I going with that? I just did an ADHD moment. The entitlement you were talking about.
Yeah.
The trophies for everyone. Like everybody gets trophy. Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, you get a trophy for participating.
Yeah, everybody gets a trophy. But I mean, no, they don't want to name a winner too.
But where's the incentive then to win?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the incentive to do better?
Yeah.
There you go. That's where I was going. I just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
I think it's because I used a little of my hybrid lotion on my ankle because I have the tendonitis acting up. So if I move, it just feels like my ankle's going to go out and it's very painful. But
that's why I urge everybody possible travel as much as you can.
Yeah.
We've got it good here compared to other countries, but I don't want to grow old here. I don't want to grow old here. I don't want to get old here. I don't want to get my head bashed in a parking lot by a meth junkie.
I've heard that. Yeah, not what I'm sorry. I was reading what Storm said, but yeah, nobody wants to get bashed in the head by a junkie.
I have to agree with Bob. You know, I'm a disabled combat veteran, and I brought my wife and our son here from the Philippines, and our son is learning about the American life, and I think he's ready to go back home. But the opportunity is way better here for him, and he turns 18 this month, and he's joining the U.S. Army, and he wants to be an interpreter, so he can go back to the Philippines and do the look-a-thon with the U.S. soldiers and the Philippine soldiers, and which is good. He'll get his dual citizenship, but they're learning. In no disrespect again, but every Filipino thinks the American is such the rich guy. They all have money. If you're an American, you're a rich guy, and
just
you can
the
just
exchange rate. It's not we're all rich. It's just that.
But when I lived in the Philippines, I saved about $3,000 a month. When I shut my house down and I moved to the Philippines for 6 months at a time, I saved about $3,000 a month.
The cost of living is so much lower there.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I had a. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
My apartment cost approximately $125 a month for a 2-bedroom, you know, nice apartment in Calayan. And my water bill was about $12 a month. My electric bill was about $15-20 a month. And the most expensive was the Wi-Fi, and it's the most garbage thing you'll ever have, and it's the most expensive thing you'll ever have. Is the Wi-Fi there?
Yeah.
The
problem is everyone in America wants to live way above their means.
Yeah.
And they look like they have, but reality is what they have is debt.
Yeah, they have debt.
Exactly.
And sometimes they'll have
I got
those
a
big
neighbor
houses
like that.
and they're empty. Sorry, Bob.
I got a big neighbor like that. He's got that trailer that's so big it won't even fit in his driveway. And they got an ATV and on and on and on. And wife and I look at them. I go, they don't own that stuff. They're making payments. They just want to show off to the rest of the neighborhood, you know. But I want to live over there because they have a handle on the drug stuff over there. They know how to deal with it. They know how.
Yeah, Duterte really pushed on that. You were talking about the former mayor, Duterte.
His daughter's a mayor of Davao right now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Still the same drug policy over there. I can walk down the street in downtown Davao, middle of the night, all alone. Nobody bothers me. Here, no, I can't do that. Eventually, somebody's going to tackle me because I'm old and I got gray hair, and I'm going to lose everything. Probably get killed by a junkie. That's just the way it is here in the Seattle area, and that's why
Bob, you hit on something that I was going to say. I feel more at home and more at peace in the Philippines with the NPA, with all the problems that they have. I've never been treated bad or accosted there, but I can't go to Chicago to the Philippine embassy to get my wife's passport renewed without being accosted outside the embassy by some individual. I didn't have that in the Philippines.
Yeah, we've got the Muslim threat in Davao and the NPA, and I'm still safer there than I am right here.
I agree with that, 100%.
Because of the drugs.
I definitely agree with everything going on right now.
And I don't think it's a Muslim threat. I'm a Christian, but I don't feel threatened by. I've never had one person outside of Baghdad try to harm me. In the Philippines, they all treated me with love and respect. Everybody.
everybody's.
I just meant right now. It's a mob mentality, and it's not just like Muslim.
Yeah.
It's a whole mob mentality.
Well,
and
it's
a lot of misinformation flying around.
That too.
There's
that
a
too.
lot
And
of
it's like-
misinformation, and there was a lot of
a lot of anger.
a lot of parents that just totally missed how to raise their kids.
Yeah. Well,
We
it's
live
not
in
just
a give me society.
Yeah, that's what it is. They release them to college, and college is what is been controlled by
college
communists
is
for
worse than
quite a long time. Communism's been
That's-
in the colleges for quite a long
That's why my
time.
kids did not go to university here. My
Yeah.
daughter adamantly refused. My son went to do two different VOTECs. They refused university because they saw the wokeness, and neither one of them are woke, and they don't want to be in an environment like that where you're the one who is not woke.
Pretty much, I think.
Good for them, though.
Or they just take you out and bury you under a tree. Pretty much. Like what they're talking about, Vidra, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a quick end to it. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to say it.
It's a quick end. They don't go through a revolving door. They don't come back out. I don't want to talk too much about that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that can cause a little bit of problems for a channel.
Yeah, exactly. That's all right, though. I mean, I'm not in a rush to. I would like to, just get over 1,000, but I'm not in a rush. You don't see me, processing out videos like crazy. My life can't support it right now, because once you do get like YouTube's algorithm and their attention, and you get a taste of like, oh, that little bit of extra money. I watch people like work themselves to death for that little bit of extra money, thinking that they're all going to get to that height of, and it's a great dream, but
well, you look at
the percentages are kind of,
you look at some of the big ones like Mr. Beast and some of the ones PewDiePie and those, they're doing awesome, and everybody wants that, and everybody's doing it now. I'm over.
The problem is you've got to put in the work. Like that's what kids don't realize who are starting their channels. It never stops when they're doing that kind of stuff. They've got people now doing it. They've got people helping them when they get to that certain level. But to get to that level, it's work.
It is, and I'm over 1,000 right now.
I saw that. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know you weren't in a non-channel? I thought you were in a non-channel. I'm so sorry.
A lot of the Filipino that I follow that have helped me, they said, oh, why don't you monetize? Why don't you? Well, once you monetize, you sign a contract with YouTube. And if you don't meet their goals that they set for you, they can actually demonetize you and take away subs. I had a young lady that I've been helping. She lost everything, and we helped her get back up to where she'd get monetized again. And it was a hard road to get her there. Once you monetize YouTube, if you don't have, say, 20,000 or 30,000 subs and doing good, you're under the screws and you're going to have a hard time. It's not worth maybe the $1-2 a month that I would get in monetization, whether it be from AdSense or whatever. Say again.
I was talking to Vidra. She said, I think what YouTube does is called crop sharing.
Yeah, Vidra is a guy. No, my daughter said it too.
Yeah,
it's called AdSense
for the work that you do. Yeah.
You get cents.
Yeah, once you get the AdSense, and then once you monetize, if you get enough people and they're sending you like super chats and super stickers, they're still going to take 30% of that. So they're making money on you for all your hard work.
That's why I don't do the stickers. I don't do the T-shirts. I don't do any of that. I'm monetized, and I've only been paid out a couple of times, and that's just enough to get a hook in you.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I could have been monetized a long time ago, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of, because like, it looks attractive. Of course, I stay at home, but then making all those videos, and then you have to make even more and put even more
I
time in
slacked
because people
way
are
off on
emailing
making
you.
videos.
Mm-hmm.
Way off because I didn't want monetized.
I do
Yeah.
this as a hobby. I don't care if I get paid or not.
Yeah, that's me. I don't do it
don't.
for the money because
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
any money. But
Yeah, 'cause,
No, a lot of us
they
do it for a social outlet. Like that's
bingo.
kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
social outlet. It
for
keep the
me and
mind going
my wife,
and
we're documenting so when we're gone in
Yeah.
that's what
40,
mine
50
was.
years,
Yeah.
our children, our grandchildren can see how happy we were, see what we did, see
Yeah.
the milestones that we made.
Mhm.
You know, the $2 that I'd probably make at 1,136 subs a month. That's not going to make me a millionaire. I'd have
It's
to
all
make
on
at least
you.
$5,000 a month to be happy.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
It's all
family
views.
in Europe and in Asia, and they watch the videos because I show what my wife and I do here daily.
Yeah.
So that's a way that they can keep up with what we're doing. My
Yeah.
brother-in-law in England has his own channel. My brother-in-law in the Philippines has his own channel. That's how we converse.
Yeah.
You know, went to the watch
Yeah,
this
and
live
that's
band.
good.
You
Nothing
know,
wrong with that.
yeah, that's what what's
Oh, I didn't
mostly
know
for.
he did that.
And that's
Interesting.
the
I'll
other
have to
thing
look
that I
into
was
it.
asking some of the Filipina that are monetized. I said, do they pay you in USD or do they pay you in Philippine peso? They said USD.
Mm.
But the advertisements that they're given there are Philippine advertisements. In the Filipino advertisements pay way less than what the USD
Yeah.
or the American advertisements would pay them. So they're making just a few pesos on maybe 10, 12 hours worth of work. They're probably making what, 15 pesos if they're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I have to say though, for like the Filipina girls, like with Bob, who would tell us about like certain channels, when I did have a little money, I would go over and send them like, here's some money for coffee. Well, it's the money for all of breakfast for them, like a coffee for us, like they can go out and get a breakfast.
Bury your mess.
And yeah, like those kind of things, it's worth it for them. If they can get like American guys, especially, and they're just dropping the gifts like that, that'll help them, the American dollars going over there.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm married, so I can't send anything.
No, your wife.
Because that's not proper. Yeah, exactly. That's not proper. But if you see that in the description below, if they've got their private PayPal, that's how you send them money. Because if you go through YouTube, if you go through YouTube, YouTube takes 30% of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. At least with PayPal, you can send it friends and family.
Yeah.
And it won't cost you.
There, if I can do a shout out to a wonderful young lady, she's I don't know if her husband passed away a while ago, and she's got a son that has mental issues, and she's such a sweetheart, and she tries so good. Her name is Emily and Son, Food and Travel. She's just a wonderful, beautiful young lady, and she does videoke, and she sings, and she's just a sweetheart. She was actually on TV when she was young as a French maid on one of the Philippine dramas.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. You know, when I watch YouTube, my wife's sleeping now. I should be too. It's almost 3 a.m. But she
there's
oh yeah, you got that right, Carol.
I mostly I like a
when
lot
they
of the
get big on YouTube.
I like a lot of the Filipino channels because they're freaking eye candy to me, man. Are you
feel
familiar?
young.
Oh yeah, are you familiar with the channel, the Mercury called Rebeauty? Holy
no, I'm not familiar with that.
Rebeauty. She lives in Makati City, but
okay.
oh my, God, she is sent from heaven.
Thank you, Homestead Aquarius.
And then when his wife finds out,
Bob, when I watch YouTube, 9 times out of 10, my wife is watching with me, and if I said something like that, I'd have a chenille upside my head. She'd poke my eyes out.
My wife's
Mister,
used.
that's what he gets, Mister.
Mister, and my wife's used to me, and I go, "Hun." I used to tease her, like Miss Verna Cordon came up with a video today, and she hey, Mister, and then one day she sent me a text. She goes, "Hon, please don't make me jealous anymore."
Verna's one that I do follow. Yes,
she's beautiful. I sent
sobrang maganda, diba?
Magandang babae. Yeah.
I made you a moderator, Mercury, so you can put the link in the chat of that woman.
Thank you.
I hooked Verna up with
you can find it on
Homestead Aquarius did.
I'll post, if it's okay, Carol. I'll post up Rebute's channel, and oh my God! At the beginning of her channel, at the top of the page, it's got her. Oh, she changed her picture. Dang it! Dang it!
Sounds like disappointment from this side.
She's. I think she was a model, an international model for a little while, but she's laying on the beach like this with a red bikini on and all that dark brown skin against that white sand.
Easy. Down, Bob.
Down, boy.
Oh my God!
Don't get me kicked off the channel.
Cold water,
yeah.
Oh wow, this is a beautiful channel, like all the shows and stuff. And
I'm an old guy, and I have a very beautiful and amazing wife. I do appreciate beauty, but I appreciate what I live with every day. And I'm not saying that because I'm afraid. For the first time in my life, I'm happy and content. Beautiful women, looking at them. Yeah, they're beautiful. But I'm just thankful for what I have every day. And like I said, my wife's sleeping, so I'm not afraid. So don't tell her what I just said.
I hear you. It was like I answered a comment just during the live here. I got a weird comment. It said, I mean, I've never seen this channel before in my life. It says, do you prefer Filipino women or Norwegian or Danish or Swedish women? So I answered, I prefer my Filipino wife.
Yeah.
I
think Mercury was in the side chat when you were talking about it. But
no, I did hear that.
How can you not say that?
What kind of a weird comment is that?
Well, there's a lot of people out there. There's, they're gonna try to egg you on and try to trip you up and get you in trouble. But
exactly,
for the first time, I'm 53 years old, and I'm happy. I'm content. And it doesn't matter your skin color. If you got a beautiful heart, you're a beautiful person. I don't care who you are, what skin color you have. I just happen to be married to the most wonderful, beautiful brown skin lady in the world, and her heart is beautiful and pure, and that's why I'm happy. It's not her skin color; it's her heart.
Yeah, Gear brings up an important point. Is sometimes those ladies get the short end of the stick because guys that they get sometimes can't make it here with the women here. Like I'm not putting you and Bob down. I'm talking about the bad ones, like that Gear's talking about, that aren't worthy of the Filipinas that they've met through here.
That. Yeah. And a lot
that's everywhere though, but still, like they
a lot
have
of
their
Americans
eyes.
get scammed.
And Americans get scammed too.
Yeah, it does work both ways. But lately, I've been seeing a number of individuals that are big talkers, and they're, no disrespect, Social Security or non-worker Americans, and they're dragging along, making promises to these Filipina. And I see it. I'm coming. 6, 7, 8 years later, they never showed up. I've been to the Philippines 12 times.
So have I.
And they just don't have.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
gotta go
Go ahead.
to 3
Yeah, I've got to
morning, guys. I
go.
gotta
Hubby's
go.
up and
All right.
getting ready for
Oh.
work. So,
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Brenda. I
Good
hope you
night,
get
Duncan.
some rest.
oh, thank you for having me
Thank
up
you.
here. I'll talk to y'all
Cheers.
later.
All right. Sounds
Take
good.
care,
Bye-bye.
Duncan. It's a pleasure.
Much love.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta go down. It's 3 a.m. and
Alrighty.
yeah, my husband's gonna be like, what the? So
Mhm.
You
everybody
guys
have a
kept me
good.
awake tonight.
I'm sorry. I hope it was for a good reason. It was good that you and Bob got to talk. That was good.
I'm
Yeah, it was.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob and
Yeah.
I have seen each other in different chats. I think
Different
mostly
chats.
Verna. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was very
Okay.
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you guys are of the same mindset. Like you don't
Yeah.
like to see
Yeah.
that culture exploited,
We're
and
not bullshit artists.
and
We'll
you're
tell
not
you what the
full of
truth is.
BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
after more of the BSers to kind of no, that's flush them out kind of.
I try not to call too many people out online because it just causes problems for other people's channel.
Yeah,
Just
see you guys tomorrow. Even the Dirt will be on tomorrow at 10 o'clock. She was on my panel, and her live is tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. I am gonna close it out, or we could keep talking for another hour because you're
All
so
right.
enjoyable. All right, have a good night in the side chat. We will see you.
God bless
hopefully
South
next
Florida.
Friday.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
you.
Good night.
No,
Peace
I
out,
appreciate
everybody.